I fitness for me too is like it was much more than like abs and biceps. It was like it really became a vital part of my recovery and staying clean. By the way, 23 years today.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't. I forgot. I almost forgot. And it was driving over here. I was like, it's October 23rd. Oh yeah.
And you're back.
I'm back.
Thank you for doing this again, dude. You needed a haircut.
Obviously.
It's amazing. It was like almost 2 years ago, and your hair's only grown this much in 2 years.
I know.
It's a little wild.
Well, that is not one area where I will hold back or be bashful.
Yeah.
If I didn't cut my hair in 2 years, it would be like David Lee Roth in his prime. It'd be down by my waist. All the griping I have, especially as a meathead, all the griping I have about my genetics, because my mom's 4'10". Okay. My dad's very overweight and has been my whole life. But I ain't complaining because my hair and I think skin too. I'm like, I'll take it. My hair grows so fast and I have a lot. I don't seem to be at 46. I don't seem to be crossing that line where it's not a problem. Because also all my peers are dealing with that, and I'm also like super sensitive to it because that would suck. I mean, losing your hair would be really, really hard to deal with.
I think so. I even though like I would never be able to have him as a guest because he's follically challenged, but the question I would want to ask Billy Corgan would be like, what was it like to like go through losing your hair at the height of your career at the same time? Like that had to be like, we made it.
Yeah.
But like, now you're going to lose your hair for the cost. Like I would like to know somebody who did that. Like you could have
Jordan.
Who, Michael Jordan?
Do you know that if Michael Jordan didn't start shaving his head, he would be like full, like crown baldness?
Yeah. I mean, he could just get hair transplants like LeBron did.
Yeah, but not in 1990 or when, you know what I'm saying? Like peak Jordan that's when he started shaving his head and also Kelly Slater.
Yeah.
I always thought like it would have been awesome if like a guy with hair like Mr. Belding was shredding people to death. He should have committed to it.
Great.
Yeah.
I wonder if Kelly Slater can still grow the size of his hair.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he should just totally.
That's a good question because he should. If you're funny,
we should just ask. We should just try and ask him.
I don't know Kelly at all. I've never met the man.
No, but
I've been at a party with him, but I never introduced myself.
Oh, you should have introduced him.
He's one of those guys. I can think of off the top of my head, having the luxury of being around celebrities. He's one of like 4 or 5 guys where I was like, whoa, it's awkward how good looking you are.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Julian McMahon, who I think just passed away from Nip Tuck. He was most famous from Nip Tuck. Yeah. He came into Loveline, and I was like, I knew he's on TV. He's a good looking guy. He walked in the door. I was like, holy fuck, you are so handsome. Yeah. Idris Elba is uncomfortably handsome.
Idris Elba?
Uh-huh. He's uncomfortably.
That is who I want to play Spawn.
Yeah. Oh,
they want Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it has to be Idris Elba.
Well, I don't know much about the character Spawn. Yeah. Is Spawn at all funny? I mean, if Spawn's more of a Deadpool-y thing, Jamie Foxx is the
No, he's more serious.
If he's dark, then yeah.
And I also think the physical stature of Idris Elba is just like on screen. You don't need to do these up angles to make Jamie Foxx look like 6'3".
Yeah.
That's true. So Idris Elba, Julian McMahon.
Julian McMahon is definitely.
Yes.
There's this guy. I believe he's had a horrible controversy too. So it pains me to say.
Handsome is handsome.
His name he was on Scandal with Kerry Washington, but I think he broke in on the Stomp the Yard movies. His name was Columbus Short. That was his name. Black dude.
Don't know who it is.
He's so good looking. I was like, whoa, God, this is not okay.
Yeah.
Like you're that good looking. Kelly Slater too. I remember I was at a party. I was at Kid Rock's house in Malibu.
Oh God.
And Kelly Slater was there. And I just remember like, I didn't talk to him. I didn't approach him. I just remember I was like seeing him. It's like, God damn, you're so good looking and that talented. Like he's GOAT status,
Every now and then there's people I've been just completely just like, wow.
Yeah.
years ago when they were dating, I met Matthew McConaughey and Penelope Cruz.
Yeah.
And she is 10 times more beautiful than you had ever seen in any photo.
There's those people that there's real life them, and then there's
on screen.
Yeah, on screen.
Like, I don't think I've ever seen a photo or any movie that can accurately depict how beautiful, like jaw-droppingly beautiful she was.
And she's my type too, so I could easily see how I would be moved by her.
I mean, my wife's half Puerto Rican, so clearly I have a thing for that Latin.
See, it's weird when it catches you by surprise though, because I was on. This wasn't recent. This was in the 90s sometime, late 90s though. I was on a plane, and Jennifer Aniston was in first class.
Oh wow!
And I was like watching Friends at the time, and I was like, I was probably high school and maybe college age.
Yeah.
And I obviously thought, like, oh, that's an attractive person.
Yeah.
But it was never like, she's not my thing. I was like, holy fuck, her eyes are so bright blue. She is so hot in person. Yeah. I couldn't believe that was the one that like really, and Rihanna too. Obviously Rihanna's hot.
Yeah.
But when I was at the Grammys interviewing people backstage, I was talking to Rihanna. I couldn't believe how hot she was. Like, I couldn't wrap my head around how good looking she was.
No, I met Heather Graham.
Oh yeah.
She was as pretty as you would imagine.
And by the way, she's hot now, and I really want to. No, I'm serious. This is why, because, and it makes me appreciate my wife, because it's got to be so hard. Being a woman and dealing with aging and the way society puts pressures, right?
Yeah.
A woman in Hollywood, they all go cuckoo and they do crazy stuff to their face and everything. Heather Graham looks like as if she's Heather Graham at this age, and she looks amazing. You know?
Yeah, she was really beautiful. I can't say she was the friendliest. I'll just leave that for another conversation. And then Anna Nicole Smith.
Yeah,
I get what she was stunning.
You get what?
You get it. Like it's like a take your breath away. Like, oh, I get it now. Like you think you get that. Like when you see her, like these photos, like she's beautiful. Like anybody who says not, like they're blind. But when you run into her, and by the way, she was coming back from like that. She was just starting to slim down when she like got really large, which is fine, right? But she was not at her like quote like fighting weight, they call it, right?
No, when she was like playmate, couldn't believe it.
But like you just looked at her like, oh, I don't care. Like who this girl like was just knockout.
Yeah.
And I get it. I was like, I get it. Like every now and then there's those people who walk, the celebrities, and you go, holy fuck.
There's plenty of people, and the way I was trying to explain it, where like there's plenty of people, and by the way, this goes for men too. I let off with men.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says about me. But there's obviously beautiful people, and you meet people and you're like, oh, you're very attractive. There's people that are so attractive that something happened where it's like, this is awkward.
Yeah, it is.
It's
awkward.
It's like me, like even if they weren't celebrities,
it would be awkward.
Yeah, well, no. In fact, I know for a fact, because my friend had a wife. They're now divorced, but my friend had a wife. She was so ridiculously hot that it made things weird.
Even just like talk to her as your
and not like it made things weird. Like I can't control my urges because I'm attracted. It made things weird. It's like I started to get conscious of like what I was saying.
Yeah,
I didn't know. I was over there. I was like, I wonder if she'll like this food. I was like, why am I like asking what I'm? I was like, oh, it's because she's a friggin' perfect 10. She was a Dutch immigrant, and she was a model, and I just like, and he didn't warn me.
He didn't say like, by the way.
Yeah, and she's 6'1", and I was like, oh, whoa, what the hell when I met her, and I think maybe that threw me for a loop. You know?
Yeah, no, I know. Every now and then when you like meet somebody that's like that, you're just like, oh, I get it now. Matthew McConaughey, I was like, man, this guy, I'm like, handsome.
He and Brolin are my two, like, I won't say idols, but they're what I look to as like markers for doing it right, because there's plenty of people. And I don't want to name names because I'm going to start getting shitty about it. But there's plenty of dudes in Hollywood or models or whatever that they were amazing when they're 20, but they had a teeny bopper hotness to them.
Yeah.
And then they become men. And you're like, you're just a dude now. I'm pretty sure Josh Brolin and Matt McConaughey are hotter now than they've ever been before. Like the becoming men has made them more
it's that whole like aging like wine.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I feel that way about. I realize most of my favorite movies have Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm like, this is a guy who refuses to let a number define him.
Well, also Brad Pitt is exceptional. I don't know if there's a female equivalent where Brad Pitt does it's awkward how good looking they are.
Yeah.
He does it on camera.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing Thelma and Louise, and I was a very straight young boy, and I was still like, what the fuck is this guy's? I don't know if I've ever seen a guy like that.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone so perfect looking.
Yeah.
I really remember being like, I don't even understand this guy.
Yeah. No, I never, it's so funny. When I say recently, like within the last year, I never watched Legends of the Fall. I just ruled it as a chick flick because all the girls talked about this movie when I was in high school or whatever. So I watched it because I'm like, I should just give it a shot. One, great movie. Phenomenal. Like how it's shot. I'm like, this was shot in film. It looks better than half the crap we see now. Everything is like color graded in blue.
I don't like, and also,
And it's like, it's all like golds and warm tones and looks like earth.
you know how people, okay, I will tell you, film is the one thing I'm a hipster about.
Dude.
Because you know how people get all like, oh, dude, you can hear records. There's a pure impurity. They get. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Give me digital. Give me the perfect sounding CD. Or
actually, CD is the perfect audio form.
That's what I feel like.
No, it is. It really is. It's like nothing tops that.
But I remember distinctly when I was like one of the last people to get a DVD player.
Oh,
and I got the first DVD I got was The Matrix, and I put it in, and I said, it's too clear. I don't like this. I don't like digital film. I need the impurities of like real film. That's my take. That's the only thing I'm a hipster about.
Yeah, no, it does. It changes everything, and same with cameras too, because the resolution is just so much higher. Like you can take film, any film, and blow it up, and as long as you're not shooting in like 1600 film ISO, you're able to not have this graininess, which you're only able to now capture with a mirrorless camera. And even with that, it almost becomes hyper realistic. It almost has this AI rendering quality to it.
Which, if you're doing, I guess if there's certain projects or certain artwork that might work, but
that's photography, maybe. Yeah. But like to capture people, it just I know a guy who does tintype photography. Are you familiar with that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, dude, like
my wife and daughter and I got a shot done.
Where's it? The one off 6th Street?
No, this was still in Southern California. It was in Long Beach.
You gotta check out Lumiere. There's a guy that does it at Justine's, the restaurant Justine's. Yeah, he does it right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I find that stuff.
I think it's way cool.
Yeah,
so fascinating. We've completely digressed from you need a haircut.
Yes.
You want a Meathead haircut?
No.
Should we call you like Meathead Mike Catherwood? Or
it's funny because
is Psycho Mike now like a dead name too? I don't want to dead name you. I don't want to be rude.
Well, Psycho Mike was never a name to me to begin with.
But they haven't said that.
Oh yeah, no. I think that's why. And I thought it's very classic because it's a real thing. It's a radio nickname. And what people don't understand about radio nicknames is it's very pure. You can't give it to yourself.
Okay.
Someone has to give it to you.
Okay, I didn't know that.
You can't like it.
Oh, you have to
like Baba Booey. Or
Baba Booey.
Yeah, people call you that. That's like Rock and Ron and all that stuff. Again, some program director in 1968 heard this guy's name Ron Leibowitz, and he's like, "You're Rock and Ron," and the Rock and Ron was probably like, "Fuck that," but you're Rock and Ron.
Yeah.
Kimmel gave me the name Psycho Mike.
Really?
He was instrumental. I don't know if it was simply, but I was doing a particular bit that we will talk about off the air because I've been actually legally, literally we can't talk about it.
Okay.
But it was one of these, and look, there was no like harassment or anything, but it was gross. And a company actually has levied at the time, this is 2005 or something, levied some type of legal action against Viacom at the time who owned K-Rock. So I'm supposed to not talk about it, but we'll talk about it.
No, you're not going to talk about
it. We did this bit, and we did the blah, blah, blah. And Kimmel was the guest on Kevin and Bean.
Okay.
Who, by the way, Jimmy Kimmel was the sports guy for Kevin and Bean.
I remember that.
Before he got into television, before Man Show and anything. So they obviously had a very, very close, tight relationship. So Jimmy comes on to promote his late night show, which was just getting underway.
Yeah.
And he was doing whatever he could to promote it. And he came on as a guest. I'm like, I couldn't believe that Jimmy Kimmel's near me because I'm like grew up watching the Man Show, and I'm like, this guy's your man, you know. And this bit goes on the air. Kimmel is part of the people in the green room listening to this, and after the show, they're thanking Kimmel, and he's like, yeah, thanks a lot. And nice to meet the psycho over here who did fill in the blank. And they're like, and Kevin, he says Psycho Mike, and that's like kind of where it took off. And so I did not. You know why I don't like Psycho Mike?
Why?
It rolls off the tongue and it's great and it's memorable.
It's like so easy.
Because all humans who meet me, who listen to me on the radio, whether they like me or not on the radio, they meet me and they're like, "You're Psycho Mike," because they expect a WWE wrestler, giant dude with a mohawk and an affliction shirt. Everyone, 100%, they're like, that's Psycho Mike. I can't tell you how many thousands of people have been at Weenie Roast or whatever. They're like, wait, you're... I was like, yes, I am. I know I look like your accountant's son, but I am Psycho Mike. You know?
Yeah, I mean, the first time I met you was on Halloween night at the Hollywood Athletics Club.
Oh, dude, that was a fun party.
You were dressed as Don Draper.
Don Draper. Yeah, I was Don Draper. Yeah,
I have.
It's like first season of Mad Men.
I have photos of that of you from the audience. I'm like, holy fuck! There's Mike who knows JSO.
And then
I was only there because I was friends with Dead by Sunrise.
Oh, dude, I love those dudes.
Yeah, so like Ryan and Amir, I've known them since forever, and so that was the night. And then I didn't drink that night because I drove back to Newport Beach, and so Chester and I were sober the entire night. Literally just like hung out the whole night. Like there was like everyone was just doing their rock and roll thing, and him and I are just like he's like I really just wish I was at home with my kids right now. I know. And I was like, I bet you do.
God rest his soul.
One of the nicest guys I've ever.
And also as like from like a recovery standpoint, I would never in a million years name names, but there's so many cool celebrities that I got to know through that I was like, yeah, well, fuck that guy. I mean, he was full of shit. He didn't try ever. He'd show up at a meeting once by court order.
Yeah.
And then immediately go back to Slam Hero. And, I can't tell me how many, when something would befall certain celebrities through addiction. And I was like, God rest his soul. I don't want to talk shit, but we all saw that coming. Chester fucking tried so hard. It hurt me so much, man, when he passed, because not only did he try, but he would come on Loveline and be fully open for the sake of people listening. He's like, dude, this is not, I know it looks cool, like the rock star thing. He's like, I hurt so much, man, from this, and it's hard. And so when he died, I was like, shit, it really rocked me.
Yeah. I remember we were at our mutual friend's house watching the final season of Dexter, Trinity Killer. And it ends. So if anybody hasn't seen it, I'm going to spoil this for you. It ends with the mother of Dexter's child being dead in the bathtub, getting murdered, and the baby's just sitting there crying, like alone. And it's really sad. Yeah. I just look over. Chester's bawling.
Yeah.
Because he's like imagining one of his kids in this situation. And he told me this, and I'm like, man, we're like, well, are you all right? He's like, I can't shake it. Like it was really interesting to see. This is like a personal moment. I've never actually talked about this like really publicly or anything like that. But it was a really, not just a humanizing thing, but you're like, wow, like it didn't affect me because I didn't have children.
Yeah.
But now having children.
Yeah, I have children. Yeah.
And now I think back when I watch movies and the kid's now orphaned or whatever. It affects me. Like I understand why he broke down.
It was
I get it.
It was God, what's the name of that movie? It's a good film. Clint Eastwood movie starring Sean Penn about Boston.
Is it Mystic River?
Mystic River. Thank you. Mystic River. Mystic River comes out. I go see it. 2005-ish, 2006-ish, right? So I come back to Kevin and Bean Monday.
Yeah.
What'd you do this weekend, Kevin? This and that and that. What'd you do? I saw this movie. You should check it out. Mystic River. He goes, no way. I go, why? I have kids. I can't watch that shit. I know what it's about, and I'm not gonna watch it. I was like, dude, but it's fake. I mean, he's like, no, I don't. I would not enjoy myself. It would be a very unenjoyable experience to watch murdered teenage girls. because I have a teenage girl. And I was like blown away, right? Money, the sports guy, walks in. How'd you guys do this weekend? I was like, I would see Mystic River. This guy won't see it. I'm telling him it's good. Sean Penn's on fire like usual. I'm not gonna see that movie. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why not? He's like, I got a daughter. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
And I was like blown away. I wasn't talking shit to him, but it was perplexing, right? Sure enough, have a kid, have a daughter.
Yeah.
Go back to Money and Kevin. I was like, I totally understand.
Yeah.
I can't even watch like Forensic Files and Dateline and shit anymore.
Yeah.
Because I have a whole different view of the world.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, children change you.
Mm-hmm. I hope so.
Well, I was just gonna say, I feel like if they don't, that's kind of a concern sometimes. Like I put them before me on anything.
I don't want to talk about stuff where I go, I'm making it out to sound like I'm better than these people.
Yeah.
But there's this weird thing that happens where I go like, what? You're saying children change you, or at least they should.
Yeah.
Okay. When people don't, it doesn't. I'm like, what the fuck? The same thing happens like, I don't know. I'm by no means like some Pollyannish, prudish dude. I fucked everything that walked for 10 years of my life when I was a single guy, you know. But I've had like not one. I've had like 5 to 10 experiences where I'll be at like something from my daughter's school.
Yeah.
I'll be at a dinner with like couples, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my wife's with me. I'm looking at the guy's wife.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking to me about like banging strippers. He's like, the other night I met this one, went to Vegas with my boys, and I was fucking this girl. I'm like, wait, is that your wife right there? Like,
I've had guy clients in the past over the years have those conversations with me because they're on business.
Yeah.
And they know
I
do their wife's hair.
Yeah.
And they look at it like, we're both dudes, you know.
I was like, don't get married then. Don't get me wrong. I understand being a poon hound. I totally support that.
Hey,
I was one.
I told everybody I was committed.
Yeah.
I was committed 100% when I was in a relationship. I was 100% committed to being single.
Yeah.
So we got to figure out what are we doing so what are we doing? What's your normal day-to-day stuff? Are you doing a lot of the jiu-jitsu that you like to do in boxing? You doing some of that?
Yeah.
You're doing that?
Pumping iron and all that fun stuff.
This is crazy.
I know.
Dude, this is very John Stamos-y. I wish we were doing this. You should have gone as John Stamos for Halloween. You told me the story. I was saying you should have just gone as Uncle Jesse.
I feel like I'm actually so pumped, and we've talked about how when I was 25, people was like, "You look like John Stamos," and I was like, "Thank you." Hey, that's the best shit ever.
Yeah.
But now twice in this last year, Ed Helms was one of the people. Ed Helms told me, he's like, "You have a Josh Brolin thing going on." I was like, "I do."
That's good.
I was like, then like a month later, I'm at Austin Airport.
Yeah.
Here, and I was sitting kind of near this one dude. And he and I got to talking. He was a very likable dude. And so then we go to the baggage claim, right? And he's in front of me as, you're standing by the carousel, but he's in front of me and I could see my shit coming. Yeah. And I go like, dude, get out of the way real quick so I can grab and he's like, just hold on a bit, you Josh Brolin looking motherfucker. Big black guy. And I was like, am I that? Yeah. I'll take it, but I don't see a Brolin-esque.
Yeah, I see both.
Okay, I'll take it.
I can see both. I can see one way or the other,
I get Don Cheadle a lot,
Don Cheadle?
No, I was joking.
Yeah.
Never mind. He's a black man.
I know.
And he doesn't look anything like me.
No, I know. That's why it's funny.
Well, it was supposed to be. I don't know who it was.
Well, it depends. I still live in the era of humor where workaholics is completely acceptable.
Yeah.
I know it's probably would never been able to be made now. But that's the level of humor I live in.
It's weird.
It's weird just in general.
Well, it's weird that wouldn't be made now because that was like 6 years ago.
Yeah, well.
I can understand if you watch like Married with Children and people are like, well, you could never make that.
Married with Children is tame to me. Married with Children is super tame. Married with Children is like not really like that crazy. I don't think. Like I was telling a friend.
Some stuff's pretty
probably didn't age well, but I did like Archie Bunker.
Well, Archie Bunker, they'd say the N-word.
Yeah, I know.
That's like they fully say the N-word, and I'm not sure that isn't better.
No,
I'm not saying you should say the N-word. What I'm saying is like if it's fully verboten to do something that doesn't necessarily make it less passe.
No, I just think that with comedy and humor, it's like the more they try to put restraints about what can and cannot be funny, it just makes people like want to do things in spite of it. To say like, well, you're not going to can't tell me what I can and cannot say.
Well, it's
I
also
guess like human nature. Like, oh, don't look over there. What's the first thing you do when your parents say, don't look to your left? Everybody goes.
Well, yeah, it's also like the N word in general, like the idea that you're not even supposed to say it. Even black politicians or entertainers, when telling a story about being called the N word, are supposed to say the N word as opposed to being like, and the guy called me you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I'm not saying it now because it is a tasteless word, but one of the things that happened, and I'm not much of like an anti-woke kind of like red pill guy, but I obviously certain things bother me. One of the things that does bother me is that the actual meaning, the actual value of language has just gone right out the door.
Yeah.
Like the conversation we're having is like, there's obviously completely different. There's the same word that can be used in completely different contexts.
Yeah.
Completely different purpose. There's artistic expression where you're trying to evoke certain feelings, but there's where you're trying to hurt someone's feelings. But you can't control whether or not someone uses said word. In the same way, I think where if you're just going to completely throw out where different words mean different things at different times in different contexts, you're essentially giving support to the idea that words don't mean what they're supposed to mean, which has happened a lot. Literally doesn't mean literally anymore.
No.
Boomer doesn't. People, they're like, yeah, well, it's because you're a boomer. I'm like, I'm 46. I'm over the hill. I'm old. Yeah, I'm not a boomer. Baby boomers were born
in the 60s.
Born right after World War II.
Oh,
that was when the baby boom happened in 1945 to 48. Was these GIs come home, were so happy and celebratory and euphoric from winning the war, and all these people got everybody pregnant. And baby boomers. My dad's a baby boomer.
Okay, how old is he?
82.
Okay, all right.
I'm not a boomer.
See, I thought boomer was up to like 60. I thought it was like the generation that was born up to like mid 60s.
Maybe. But the baby boom,
yeah,
American baby boom happened post World War II. That is what it was.
I do agree with that.
So that is where baby boomers. He's just a baby boomer. Now it's just like, and the other day I heard these girls talking about literally. It was literally, I died. And I was like, well, literally you didn't. Literally you didn't.
I've had this conversation with friends, like saying like, everyone's using these words, but no one is subscribing to the same definition anymore.
Yeah.
The definition of words is lost.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, if you could do it in two different directions, you could just take the meaning away, like literally is a perfect example. Or you can attribute meaning or definitions to words in totally different situations than is, like retard. Retarded is a.
Oh yeah,
that's the
R word.
Now, if you're someone has developmental disabilities and you call them a retard or you tell them that they're retarded, I would be first to get in line to want to punch you in the face.
Absolutely.
But the word retarded is not in and of it. It means a delay in.
Yeah. Well, so I have a mid 60s muscle car.
Okay.
And anytime you're trying to get the timing correct, you have to figure out how retarded it is.
Yes. Like Dr. Drew used to talk about up until, and this was in 2012 or I'd be on moment. He's like, up until a decade ago, problems a lot of times problems men would have in the bedroom with retarded ejaculation.
Yeah.
That was the medical term, was retarded ejaculation. And so my point being is like, you're talking about the timing in your car, you're talking about biological processes. But it's like, no, that word's completely.
Yeah,
it's but why are we doing
that? Word, in its truest sense, retarded in an engine timing is the specific thing.
Literally.
It is literally a specific thing that I don't know how I could describe it to another mechanic or somebody who understands cars, because that is what it is. It's like saying like, we can't call water water.
Well, no,
because that's exactly what it is.
No,
it's water.
It's actually a little different. It's like saying I can't call my rooster a cock. because you can't say cock because it might be referring to it. It's like, no, but that's a cock right there. That's a literally, we're talking about cockfighting. You know, like what they've done with certain words is like you could say, I could say on the radio or on a Disney movie, you could say cockfighting, but I can't say suck my cock because there's clearly two different meanings. But people refuse with other words. They go like, oh, well, we can't do that with.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was the whole thing with like Howard Stern's Private Parts, where like, you can't say the word pussy because they pussy willow, right? Like the fill in the blank part, which I thought was a great way of like pointing out the idiotic, what was I saying? Like the idiocracy of it all. Like, wow, like
the real radio bit that they in Private Parts that they it was, and Jackie said blank a doodle do.
Yeah. Exactly. And Quivers, the voice that she made was hysterical.
It must be cock, Bill.
Yeah. She wrote it really large. She wrote large cock. Yeah. It's great. Like I love that kind of humor. But I feel like everything in general, I feel like everyone's just like everyone's just on edge. Everyone is just like too sensitive. And when I say too sensitive, I'm not saying stuff. I feel like everyone is just like hypersensitive to like everything.
I don't
on the left and the right. And I have friends in everybody's camp. I'm Switzerland. I stick to my own shit. And like I like the things that I like. And if somebody wants to put me in one category or the other, that's for them to label me. I don't fucking care.
Well, and also that's I think how all people are, especially in this country. But yet we, for some reason, and maybe it's social media, feel like we have to join teams and shit.
Yeah.
We're all this pastiche of our experiences and our circumstances. Like, I'm a pretty conservative guy for the most part, you know, but I grew up in an environment where I was around a fuck ton of gay people since as far back as I can remember. It was just not weird that people were that, like, people, some dudes like dudes and some chicks like chicks. And so I have a real soft spot, and people could even go as far to say like I have like woke feelings about gay marriage and gay stuff, but that's just because that's my weird experience in life. I'm for lower taxes. I'm not in like this tax the rich, no kings thing, but I'm pretty kind of open-minded and sensitive to things like gay shit. You know, I don't know. I
don't understand the no kings thing. I also have no time for that stuff. There's like so much personally going on, which you know a little bit about my father-in-law, cancer and all that. It's like I have no time to like do anything that's not going to like betterment of my family, my father-in-law's health, my mother-in-law, my dad. Like that's all I care about. It's like that right now. So I didn't even know this was a protest until like I turned on X.
If you notice though, the no kings stuff. I'm not like the first guy to kind of point this out. But it makes a lot of sense, and it makes things kind of a little bit more reasonable. If you look at this specific protest, by and large, it's really old people and really like college age people, because the two aforementioned groups, they don't, like you're worrying about your father-in-law, you got kids, you have a life and it's like you can't even factor in. I can't factor in shit. I'm trying to figure out how to put food on the table for my family. And I had a sick goat the other day that we were wondering if we were going to put it down. Yeah. And I have farm shit in it. And I was like, I don't know. Like, are we under attack right now? Is there going to be a Great Depression? Oh, outside of that, I can't pay attention to your fucking no kings, you know? It seems to be like all the people in that middle bracket that are dealing with shit like you and I are dealing with don't seem to be showing up for that. It is a lot of like senior citizens and college age kids, you know, because that is something they can fill their time with, you know?
Yeah. I feel like there's a lack of personal productivity with a lot of things. I just feel like when I talk to young hairdressers, it's like, not all young hairdressers, but there are some, when I talk to them, it's like they don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
They just don't want to do the work. And I'm like, ooh, if you spent less time doom scrolling and more time like existing in real life, what would happen? You know, I just don't have the patience for stuff like that. Like there's just more things going on. Your hair.
Yes.
Shorter.
Shorter.
Yeah. Do you want to do one of these cool like little mullety things that all these young kids are doing.
Yeah, let's do it. My wife, I had a mullet, like a real mullet.
Yeah.
It was intense.
Not an intense mullet. Not like.
Well, but I did have that.
Yeah.
Thinking I would do it to be a dick.
Yeah.
And my wife and my daughter loved it. They actually said, like, you should go back to that.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool. Like,
All right.
not like a full-on, like, Uncle Laser Dean Stanfield mullet. You know?
Uncle Laser's just sick, though. I don't think I have long enough hair to do it, but
You know Uncle is like my neighbor.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's my neighbor. Yeah. And I had his buddy on the guy who does Ice Cross, Britain, and so he does like a mohawk mullet, and he's like, dude, he's like, I talked to Laser because I saw him in the neighborhood, and I was like, bro, you got to do this. He's like, all right, send me a message, we'll figure it all out, and he has like a lot going on, but yeah, so that's.
I thought he was like Borat. You know, like I thought, like he was from Brooklyn.
It's not.
No, and I,
It's a real thing.
I'm really close friends with people who know him really well.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, he like worked on the oil fields and shit in West. Like he's like that guy. And I was like, oh, it's like way more awesome now. Way more awesome.
Yeah. So what happened is I had two guests that I became friends with. Maverick McWilliams, he like was on Kill Tony, and he like got the little book and all that. He's really fucking great comedian. And then Dean Stanfield, who's fucking great. He just got named like top 25 guys at the Montreal Just for Laughs Comedy Festival. So he's like now like the eyes are on him. It's time. Yeah. He's great. He's really funny. You should you and I should go fucking see some comedy now that you're a little closer to me. And anyway, so what happened is they were all roommates. 3 fucking comedians. Dude. I didn't even know who Laser was until Dean mentioned it. And I was like, and I saw him. I go, is he like that? He goes, yeah, on stage he's like a 10. In life, he's probably cruising around 7 or 8. And I was like, all right. I'm like, let's do this. I'm hoping it'd be fun. It'd be a fun one.
Yeah. It's, okay. I guess I overstepped when I said he was like Borat. I thought he was more like Larry the Cable Guy. Because Larry the Cable Guy
is not that guy.
He's not that guy, but he's a mild version. So I thought Uncle Laser might be from Texas. And no, like that's him. That's his life.
I really think all of his antics talking about single mothers is not an act.
No. I'm not going to out anything because
I believe his stuff is not rooted in like, oh, this is a fun hypothetical story. I think this is like, this happened and I'm going to tell the story.
Yeah.
He's just a funny guy. But so what are we doing? Shorter? Let's do this. Let's take this stuff a little shorter.
Yes. This on the sides especially needs to be like so much more.
Okay, what about here on top? Like, I know like when you're working on the ranch, you're probably not like, I'm going to get my hair done up and I'm going to like look like sexy cowboy.
No.
You're not going to put on
your But when I'm on the ranch,
you're going to do your hair. You're going to get like your crop top that says like, make Texas a country again, and Daisy Dukes and cowboy boots.
When I am on the ranch, like specifically, I am wearing a cowboy hat. Because I'm one of those guys that like, no, the sunblock's terrible, and I natural set it. But I'm also naturally very tan, and I didn't realize how much I lucked out with actual sun damage.
Yeah.
So when you're out in the fields in Texas in the summer, like I'm usually wearing my big cowboy hat.
Yeah.
But I don't like to wear hats because I like to celebrate that I have my hair.
Yeah.
And so when my hair is like this, I end up wearing a hat every day, and it bugs me. Yeah. So I want it to be as long and nice and beautiful as you think as a professional can be, without having for me to have to wear a hat every day.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw when you were on The Kid and the Fighter, like you were rocking a hat, and I'm like, man, his hair must be really long.
Oh yeah, because that was just like last week.
I know. So let's do this. I'm gonna clip some of this stuff out. I think it'd be cool to kind of take this nice and short. I don't want to give you like a full on like mullet.
Yes.
But it reminds me of like the early 2000, mid 2000 like soccer haircuts. Those little footballer haircuts.
They're like Beckham mullet.
Almost back to me. Yeah, it was like something fun and short and messy. And then there's like just a little bit back here.
Let's do it.
Like this, like a little like.
Oh, you're speaking my language.
I think that'd be cool. Like I thought, Beckham. Dude.
I had to listen to my wife. She said, like, why don't you let the pro guide you? I said, okay, I'll do that.
Why don't you let the pro?
Yeah.
What do I know? All right.
You know a lot, dude.
Sometimes. All right.
You were talking about,
hang on.
A lot of kids are not willing to do the work.
Yeah.
So true. But hey, let's, and I always do this when I talk shit on younger generations, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm actually old.
I feel like I'm old enough where I can start.
You are. You're 43. Okay, yeah. So you're in your 40s. You're a man. When you have a family.
Yeah.
And so when I'm going to bemoan young, especially young dudes, I don't want to say shit about shit when it comes to young women, whether they be old or young. But when younger guys, okay, be honest and analyze if you had the world that they had, how would you be? For instance, the other day I was at jiu-jitsu talking to these kids, UT college students, 20-some, they were like strapping, handsome young guys.
Yeah.
Talking about chicks. And they're like, well, I go, well, just go to a party, blah, blah. And they're like, well, I don't go out.
Yeah.
And I go, what do you mean you don't go out? He's like, I don't want to fucking go to a party. And I go like, okay, wait, well, what's wrong? So I bring the other two dudes over.
Yeah.
Same shit. They're like, yeah, I don't really do. And I said, what about girls? And they're like, we meet girls like this. And they showed me their phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so pathetic. You guys have no social life. I got my car. I drove. I was like, dude, if 19-year-old Mike had Tinder, you would never leave your fucking room and you would take bong loads with your friends, play PlayStation, and look for girls. You would. I went to parties, I went to clubs, I went to bars, I went to and I had a very thriving social life. You know why? Because I fucking had to. It was the only way I was gonna meet a girl. There was no random girl that was gonna walk into my fucking dorm room or whatever. And so I said, yeah, stop bemoaning them. They're doing exactly what you would do if you had that world.
But okay, like on the flip side, from having clients that are younger, do you know that they can't stand like this is all we're dealing with, like because they wish guys would come up to them and talk to them in person.
Oh, I bet that's true.
So like I feel like as a hairdresser, like you hear all of it, right? And I'm like, have you ever thought about just like going up and like talking to a girl and say go and just like talking to them? They're like, yeah, but it's not that easy. I'm like, it actually is that easy. I go, dealing with your rejection is the hard part.
Yeah.
And the more you get rejected in life, the more you're able to like realize that not everything is the end of the world.
Yeah.
And I've actually thought that like I had this belief that the more times you do things and you're met with resistance, like noble things, you're met with resistance, it just means that like when I say noble, like I'm gonna do this and it doesn't work out, but I'm gonna keep doing it again. Like you're just like trying to do that. Like I want to find a spouse. Like you keep dating and it doesn't work out. And you find another person to date, and then eventually you find that person, hopefully, that you're gonna spend the rest of your life with, or at least a good time of your life with, right? Like that just prepares you for adversity. And I feel like there's a whole group of people who are just like adverse to ever wanting to have not perfect success because it doesn't Instagram well. It doesn't Instagram.
Well, that's very true.
And so they're just completely hiding from failure because they don't want to like show it. Like I'm so glad I didn't have Instagram or Facebook or MySpace or Friendster when I was in high school.
I'd be in jail.
You'd be in jail?
Yeah.
Dude, first off, like I don't know if I would be in jail. I definitely know that like
I wouldn't be in jail, but I would
definitely know that like I probably wouldn't have had the leeway.
I wouldn't be in jail. I was never like illegal. Besides drugs, I was never.
Besides,
I was a drug addict, and so I would constantly and DUI, that kind of, because I was a drug addict, I was an alcoholic, and so anything involved.
DUI?
Oh, you got like 6.
Oh, fuck! You can't go to Canada.
I spread them out in different states,
but you can't go to Canada.
I can't drive in Pennsylvania.
Really? I was just there.
And but my point being is like outside of that, like I never did any. I'm not a big fan of like breaking the law or doing bad shit. You know that I know I'm losing a lot of punk rock street cred, but
I don't think punk rock is mean like breaking the law.
No, I know.
To me, punk rock is like doing what you want, you do, and you believe in it.
But even like I agree with that completely. But I also think like even that kind of rebellious nature, like the healthier part aspect of it, I was never like. I mean, I am kind of like. I'll go hang out with you and your parents and we'll talk about everybody that was Raymond. I'm perfectly content. I'm just not much of a, I'm not that guy. I'm much more of like just a simpleton class clown. I do love that. I love busting balls. I love it.
Oh yeah.
But when I was saying like, if I had social media when I was a teenager, I'd be in jail. I would not be in jail. I would absolutely be canceled though.
Yeah.
I couldn't get any good jobs because I would, there's too many, douchebag, boneheaded kind of things that I said and stuff that I did to my buddies that they'd make their way to the surface. Like we when we were in senior year, me and my friends, almost every picture that they would take like with potential for being in year, we would have our balls out or like try to have our balls out. And that, of course they didn't post those, but if you were using a digital camera instead of film, those would be out there somewhere. And of course, I'm not going to go post Access Hollywood or some shit like that.
Yeah. So tell me about your book.
So I decided to write a nutrition book.
That's great.
I did.
You didn't do a ghostwriter?
Yeah. I believe me, in the past I had people wanting me to write like real books and shit.
Yeah.
And then they'd get the ghostwriter talk and they're like, but I don't see this vision. Why don't we go with this stuff? I was like, oh, fuck off. I don't want to do this anymore. And I was like, never mind. We're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
And I guess that was maybe one of the bigger motivating factors of wanting to do it, was that I think there's a narrative that comes into play when you're talking about health and fitness. And I was like, wait, fads or what's trending or what gets engagement or what is cool or what people will buy into or what's marketable, none of this should come into play.
It should just be the facts.
I'm going to filter out stuff that I've both anecdotally and, through research. This is totally true. This is unarguable. This is solid. This is not open for debate. No ifs, ands, or buts. And I'm going to make a book about that, and then hopefully do it in a digestible way. And so that's what I did. And
what's it called?
It is called The Meathead's Guide to Salvation.
Okay.
And I thought, I don't know. You and I were talking at the beginning about how kids don't want to put in the work. Yeah. And I think that by and large is true, because kids nowadays, when I say kids, I mean like, 20s, teens.
Not like
my daughter, like 5th grade. But I think they are looking at things from the prism of potential success or not success. Mm-hmm. And if I, for instance, in 2002, 2003, got into podcasting instead of radio, where there was editing and whatnot, and I would never have any success, because I didn't do it because I wanted to make money or be famous. I got into it because I was like, this means something to me. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have a choice. And I got on there and I stunk. I really fucking stunk. And then I had to try. And I worked at it because it meant something to me. Mm-hmm. And I got better. And then I built a career. But if I was just looking at it from the prism of like, oh, I think I can make money in this, which is not to their own fault, the way a lot of younger kids look at things nowadays. Yeah. It's hard to develop passion for stuff when it's just like constantly scrolling through going, okay, is this going to be successful or is this going to be successful?
Yeah. And I always remember the clients who were younger, and they were picking their careers based off of the financial income.
Right.
And they were always just miserable.
And
that's, not all of them, but like they really just were like, oh, I don't like this. I don't know why I chose this. I'm like, you chose this so you can make the money that you're making right now.
Yeah.
So you can have the life that you want to live. But everything comes at a cost.
Yeah.
You could be happy as shit and have no money, and then you could have all the money in the world
and be miserable.
What was it? There's a quote that says like, some people are so poor, all they have is money. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what are you talking about? But it made sense. Like, those individuals don't have some of these things that you cannot buy. I talk about this with my wife all the time. I'm like, look, we have trust. How many marriages have trust? How many marriages are healthy where the other one can count on the other one on anything? Like, how many of these things, like, we're happy, like, we love each other. We're not just saying that, like, we do. Like, we have 2 happy, healthy boys. Like, these are all things that, like, you can't buy.
Right. No, you can't. And you can't also, but also some 20-year-olds listening to us right now is like, shut the fuck up, dude. And I get that, because you can't synthesize those feelings until it's there,
I was in Seattle a few years ago, mm-hmm. and I met up with had dinner with my old assistant, and he goes, and he's, I think maybe 31, so he's like 10 years younger than me. He was 21 when he became an assistant, and I was like 32. Mm-hmm. And he said, I shit you not, he said, all of those times you were trying to like telling me like, you should be planning for the sep eyebrow. You should be planning for this. You should be doing this. He's like, it didn't make any sense to me. He goes, and I also didn't care. I was like, whatever, old guy. He was at 30. He goes, now I'm the age you were telling me that. And I realized, holy fuck, I should have listened to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I go, yeah, I can't force you to save money. I can't force you to do these things. I can just only provide an example and whatever. But because of that, and like I just remember within 5 years of certain things going on in my life, the things when clients would give unwarranted, unsolicited advice, and they were like, the older they were, the more I listened to them. So if they were like 10 years older than me, I listened to them. If they were like 40 years older than me, it was like a campfire chat. Like I had to know everything because I felt that the longer they had lived, they had gone through like those, what it was like to be 40 or 50. Now they're like 70. Like they have a completely different perspective. And they're also now watching like the fruits of their labor of raising kids, and now they're raising grandkids, right?
Right.
So like I understand like the 20-year-old may go like, oh, you guys are crazy, but it's just not relevant to them yet. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. But maybe that's how it's supposed to be.
Go. Yeah. Like, did you ever listen to your parents when they told you to not do something as a teenager? I did. I listened to them, and then sometimes like you don't know what it's like because you're not dating in this environment now. It's changed.
I also didn't have that relationship with my parents. My parents didn't tell me things.
Oh, my parents were like super involved. I was an only child. They were super involved in my life. Like when I played at the Roxy or the Whiskey or whatever, they were there.
That's awesome.
We'd all go to the Rainbow together afterwards. Next thing you know, like my parents were like sharing pizza with the dudes from Fear Factory, and like Cypress, like B Real would show up, and my mom was like, "Hey, Mr. B," or was it Mr. Real? Like it was that was my life. Totally different. Like we went to go see Machine Head.
Yeah.
My mom made them cookies.
Rob Flynn's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, and she knew that they liked to drink, so she made these like rum balls.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh my god, these are so good. Do they have rum?" I'm like, "Yeah. I told them.
Boy, do they like to drink, by the way.
God. Yeah, they definitely I remember, fuck, it was like my senior year of high school, and the Britney Spears Baby One More Time song had come out.
Yeah.
And we were partying on their bus till like 2 a.m. in the parking lot of what's called the Palace, now Avalon. And they just had that song on repeat. And there was like a giant party. And I just remember like Rob would not stop playing the Britney Spears song.
It's a hit.
It was hysterical.
You can say what you want, but it's a hit.
No, it was a total hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just the funniest thing. I was like, oh my gosh. And then my bass player, he got hammered. He was drinking Brown Eyes, which is vodka and Coke, which is their drink.
Yeah.
He was so shit-faced the next day. Keep in mind,
Brown Eyes.
Keep in mind, I'm 17 in this story.
Yeah.
And my friend's 17 in this story. Yeah.
One of those things.
Yeah, one of those things. Yeah. I mean, I also waited until like 21 to pretty much drink. Actually, I take that back. I got drunk 6 months before I turned 21 with Shavo from System of a Down and Paul from Slipknot in my friend's backyard.
That's a pretty solid crew.
And they're like, well, what are you going to order when you turn 21? I'm like, I don't know, beer? They're like, what kind of beer? I'm like, I don't know, just beer.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, try this. I'm like, this is awful. They go, that's Coors. Glad you recognize it's awful, but you need to finish it. Now, here's a Newcastle. I'm like, okay. They're like, my dad's better. They're like, good. I go, here's a Guinness. I'm like, oh, this is good. And then I think Shaw's like, we need to do whiskey shots. I'm like, what? They're like, here's Jack Daniels. Here's Crown. Here's Crown and Coke. If you're drinking with the Pantera boys, you're going to want to drink this. If you're drinking with the Machine Head guys, it's vodka. Like, that was my first time drinking.
Don't drink with Pantera, by the way.
Well, I can now.
Well, no one can, unless you're in heaven.
Yeah. But, I heard the stories and I was like, oh, God. Like, don't want to do that.
I mean, that's a pretty good breakdown right there, Shavo and Paul, because like live like Shavo and look what happened to poor Paul. Like he was such a nice guy. You know?
Yeah, Paul was great.
He was a genuinely nice man.
Super nice. So you're doing this like Meathead book thing.
Yeah.
Where you're just kind of trying to simplify what you've learned in this. It sounds like I have not read the book, but I'm gonna tell you my assumptions.
Okay.
I've never seen the assumption where they say, I think this is what you wrote about.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I haven't read it. I haven't had time to read anything. I imagine you found a way to simplify all the nuanced details of your journey in Meatheadism, where instead of trying to explain everything in a text message back and forth to me, you could say, read this book.
Yeah.
And it will probably answer all of these very big questions and also these very like detailed questions.
Definitely. That's a good way of summing it up. But on top of that, a big goal of mine was to convince people. And when I say people, I mean that as broadly as possible, that they can do it. Because when I'm going to really dig my heels in, and I stand behind this, there's nothing trendy, there's no fads, there's no kind of marketable aspects to this.
Yeah.
When I'm talking specifically about diet and nutrition. But you're going to quickly encounter, whether you're a college student who wants to look good for the summer and pick up chicks, or you're like a mom with 3 kids and you work a full-time job too.
Yeah.
And you want to look differently and look better. You're going to quickly encounter stuff in this book and be like, well, I can't do this. This is for super fitnessy people who work out every day.
What would be like an example of that?
Tracking what you eat, weighing your food and tracking. People hear that and they think like, that's for weird anorexic girls in the 90s or bodybuilders.
No, it's not. I mean, if you want to do anything, you're going to have to track it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know this from my friends and clients who wanted to get pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
They had to they had to monitor everything in order to make sure that way they had the need of medical intervention with the doctor. They had the data and the resources to talk to that doctor and say, hey, here I am. Like if you're not doing that and you're going to like, well, I'm gonna get a trainer, the trainer's gonna go, well, what are you eating?
Yeah.
And if you don't, you can say like, I don't have it. Or you can say, I've been trying to track this. This is what I eat on average. That's only going to help them.
And it's also going to be, okay. The person who's, let's say you're a woman, 35, you have 2 kids, and you're, at first glance, like we'll both collectively agree, you're 60 pounds overweight. Okay. So it's something that's been bothering you and it's an issue and blah, blah, blah. You probably are not going to even sit there and have a preconceived notion of how much you're eating or that you're eating the right things or the wrong things or blah, 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 blah. As if there is right or wrong. I don't think there is, but let's just say that person is like, I need help.
Yeah.
And I get that. If you're 30-year-old dude who's working in tech and you're always been like a go-getter and you just wish that like you're in good shape, you work out already, but you wish you didn't have that extra layer of fat and you want to kind of like really have your 6-pack pop.
That's like me.
Okay. All right. Let's say. But see, you're a bad example because you have a very deep knowledge of nutrition. You and I have talked off the air. You have a pretty.
I just haven't been able to do the things as much as I would like to.
But let's say, okay, average like kind of hard charging normal alpha male dude, right? The guy who listens to Joe Rogan. You take care of yourself, but he will say like but I've been eating clean for the last 2 months, and I go like, yeah, but what are you eating?
Yeah,
and how much? And you go like, oh, no, I've been eating clean. I had chicken breast for dinner and I had some rice. And I go like, how much are you eating? What are you eating? And inevitably you get down to it. It's like, okay, let's put that to the test. What did you have last night? I had chicken and broccoli and rice. Okay. Did you have anything else? Well, I put sauce on that. What sauce? How much? Mm-hmm. Okay. My point being is that they did this study. And it was a very, very good study because it was actually over a really prolonged period of time. It was like 6 to 8 months. Mm-hmm. They took 36 women and they had them track their food and weigh it and everything. And then they had a double blind. So they didn't know what the numbers were. They just kept track of their eating for 6. And then they had them estimate what they thought they were eating.
Okay.
And then they actually had the totals to back it up.
Right? Okay.
This is on average over 36 something or 30, I think 30, maybe perhaps 60 women. But the average was 1,300 calories.
That's it?
Underestimating how much they're eating. No, these are 125, 130 pound women.
Yeah.
And they're like, yesterday I had 1,300 calories and she had 2,600 calories.
Oh, so they were underestimating.
They were underestimating
They were
by
consuming more than they thought.
and even
It's like
healthy.
the hairdresser goes, I only cut an inch off, and they cut like that.
Even healthy, really motivated people, you will think you are doing, and it's gotten better because I think people have gotten access to a little bit more of understanding when it comes to eating. But in the 90s, people thought like if you went to Subway instead of McDonald's, like
That was healthy.
you home run. That was
Dude,
a home run.
everyone, my biggest gripe on that is everyone thinks Chick-fil-A is healthier than anything.
Because
else.
it's chicken. Why the fuck would they think
No,
that?
there's like 50 ingredients just in the chicken, and there's like another 40 fucking ingredients just in the buns.
Why would anyone assume that?
Because it's chicken, and it seems cleaner. It doesn't have the stigma attached to it.
It's
like McDonald's
delicious.
or Burger King.
It's delicious. I'll give them that.
But it's full of a whole bunch of shit.
I'm not eating it. I'm just telling you that the times I've had Chick-fil-A, which is once or twice, I've been like, this is fucking delicious.
Well, I mean, like, I've been in airports where I'm starving, there's nothing there, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna order. I almost always go to a place. Can I just order a burger?
Yeah.
And I go, I want double meat, and then I just take off the bun.
Take the bun off.
And
Yeah.
I said, I asked for extra cheese. I'll throw like an onion on there, and they like look at me like I'm crazy.
Prioritize protein.
Yeah.
So that's part of the book, and you're making my case for me. And I don't expect people to weigh their food and track it forever. In fact, I encourage you not to. I don't want people to live their life. But I think what separates the people who are genuinely, sincerely, fucking 100% totally motivated, and the outside of those, within those people, the like 3-5% of people who actually get the results that they dream of.
Yeah.
The stuff that separates them is these boring, bullshitty things like tracking.
Yeah. I measured all my foot out.
And another thing that honestly, my main goal with it was I'm going to name stuff like tracking, like eating 0.8 grams of protein per every pound of overall body weight.
Wait, say that again.
Let's say my recommendation is 0.8 grams.
Okay. So I weigh like 173 right now.
So you're looking at 140-ish.
Okay, 140-ish of grams, right? Mm-hmm. I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Not like how many protein scoops, because I could count that. What I want to know is how many filet mignons would I have to have for that? Or like how many ground beef burgers would I on average have? Like I do butcher box.
Pound and a half.
Okay. And that would be like my daily consumption of protein. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now,
I only asked that because like for me, it was the part that I loved about measuring my food. Mm-hmm. It wasn't about measuring my food. It was able to connect my eye in a roundabout size.
Right.
So I could go.
Which will, by the way, thank you for that. Which will happen if you spend a month or two tracking and weighing. You eventually get to the point where it's like, I can see like that's how much I should be eating.
That's an eyeball.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the eyeball doesn't come. You can't put the cart before the horse. But I'm gonna. So what are you talking? Like 80-20? How lean is this?
80-20.
Okay, 80-20 ground beef.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. I said 1.5 pounds.
Yeah.
So 80-20. Oh no, that's 6 ounces.
It's okay.
Ounces. 24 ounces is 175 grams of protein. So I undershot.
You better have more than less.
Yeah, so you could eat a little over a pound a day, and which is, by the way, not that hard for an average sized man like you.
Well, you saw what I had for breakfast today.
I did.
And I don't know where that goes, but I just know when I eat 4 to 5 eggs with the yolks runny, because everything I've read about yolks is that's where you get the cholesterol. But that's where you get the nutrients.
Powerhouse. Powerhouse. Biotin.
Yolks are insane.
Folic acid. It's crazy.
Choline.
Potassium.
Yeah, so much stuff, right? Everyone's like, you can't, like, scrambled eggs. So I'm going to take a page from one of my friends who is a raw vegan. Mm-hmm. So one of my friends who is a raw vegan, she, hang on real quick. I just want to make sure, wait, hang on. I did something with a phone, and I just want to make sure that, okay, sorry. I realized I panicked. My watch was set to the East Coast where I came from.
Ooh.
So I was like,
you're
what?
freaking, yeah.
I freaked out, yeah. I had a panic. That was me panicking. Everyone saw it. I do panic. Okay. So I had a friend who's a raw vegan.
Yeah.
And what she said is that with raw vegans, if you cook the food over 187 degrees, you kill all the nutrients, all the natural digestive enzymes.
She's right.
Vegetables, And so it made me go, wait, I wonder if that same thought would apply to meat or eggs. The more you cook something, the more the nutrients get cooked out.
Maybe. She's right, but to an extent.
Because I believe everything I've read about scrambled eggs versus like eating the eggs the way you saw me eat them is that when you cook the yolks to that extent, all those good properties of the yolk evaporate, more or less. They get cooked out.
It's hard to know. I mean, I'm sure, look, anytime you're putting high heat to stuff for a prolonged period of time, I'm sure there's some compromise. But what she was saying about, like, that is so true with certain cabbages, carrots, and she's a raw vegan, so it rings very true for her.
She was always sick.
There's
always sick. Like literally, like always had a sniffle, and I'm like, I'd be like, just eat the steak.
And the there's certain vegetables that are just, you should never cook them. That you should. Now, on the alternative, you should never really eat like raw spinach. You should never really eat raw broccoli. These are things that you're going to get a nutritional advantage by cooking them a little bit, because you're going to get certain anti-nutrients out of the way, and there's going to be an improvement in digestion and usefulness to the human system of those foods. I don't know when you're talking about meats, because I eat raw meat a lot and have since I was a little kid. When you're talking about like
raw beef,
carpaccios and things like that, I've
turn this on. It's going to get loud.
There's been whether it be certain Asian cuisine or like Western European
sushi and
such. I've had that with beef since I was a little kid. I've had dishes that were served raw.
Oh yeah, steak tartare
and tartare and carpaccio, and if you're going with the Italians and stuff. And so I understand that. Now, is there a huge health value? I don't know. Are all the things and all the benefits from certain meats seen through the prism and research of cooked meat? All of it is. So I don't think that there's that much need or to kind of investigate whether we should be eating raw beef or not.
Well, I mean, you could say, because the Morai tribe, the tribe out in Africa, they drink the blood of the animals, and they have some of the most resilient study. My friend Brian Sanders, he does Food Life. He's coming out with this like 9-part series, and he was talking about that. Like, these guys, they eat and consume all the organs, all the other meat, and even the blood. And I forget what it was. It was something very specific that they just seem to have. Like, there's an insane like immune system.
Yeah.
And I always wonder, I wonder if that has to do with consuming things.
I don't.
Some people believe that our appendix is actually a defunct organ that was there to actually help process meat that was raw. Have you heard about that one? In that, because we don't consume meat anymore. That's the reason why our appendix is.
Who knows? Look, human evolution is crazy. Human evolution is crazy because we've been around so long. But again, I love it, and you and I could sit here and wax poetic about that kind of shit all day.
Yeah.
One of my main motivating and contributing factors into writing this book was like, none of this shit matters. Don't eat too many calories, prioritize protein, and make sure you get a good balance of micronutrients. Mm-hmm. Like, that's it. Like, literally, I don't give a fuck. People talk about, they're like, yeah, well, you don't understand because I'm a vegan. I go, like, if we're going to talk about like extreme dieting or reductionist diets, the vegan diet is the one, even as a meat eater, that I recommend the most, because almost always it's motivated by moral factors, which supersede anything that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't really give a shit if you are, for religious reasons or for moral reasons, not eating meat, then you rock and I support you. But don't come at me and confuse the two and try to tell me like that's a superior health choice, because I will disagree.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why when people and unfortunately a lot of times it's celebrities who have to be these guinea pigs, but they will encounter certain health issues, and then that's what forces them into starting to eat meat or dairy or whatnot,
Yeah, I mean, I didn't eat dairy for a long time because when I say dairy, I would have cheeses. I wouldn't have milk, straight up. And then I had a client recommend going to, there's this health food store when I was in California called Mother's Market. I wish we would have one here in Austin. God, I miss having a Mother's Market nearby. And they said, you should try drinking the raw milk. I was a little frightful at first, but they explained to me the benefits of why I might want to try drinking raw milk. And man, I didn't have any of the same negative effects that I had when I had the other milk.
Me neither. I love milk, and I've always drank milk, but it always fucked me up.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. But now the raw milk, it doesn't fuck me up.
It doesn't. I don't
And
know.
I had a client over, she's a friend now, and she was like talking about, she goes, I would love to try it, but I'm really worried. I go, look, I poured her a glass of milk. I forgot to do her haircut. She goes, all right, you're going to hear a call from me in about 45 minutes when my stomach starts hating it and it goes on self-destruct. I didn't hear a call in 45 minutes. Matter of fact, her husband sent me a text going like, hey, where do you get that? Like she didn't have a reaction to it. Like it and I go, I'm telling you, the process of which they, kill all the good shit. Like somebody explained it to me, like when you do the, what is that process called again? I forget. Pasteurization. That when they pasteurize it, the proteins in the milk, it becomes like inverted. They said, like, let's say you have like triangles where the top is here and it goes this way and there's your triangle, right? They said that when the process of pasteurization with milk, it like flips it. And so you're trying to put an upside down triangle where it needs to be the point up. And that's what we feel is that conflict, the battle of trying to absorb something that it doesn't know how to absorb. Right. And I was like, I don't know how true that is, but everything I read, it sounds like that's what goes on. And that simple idea of putting blocks in a shape made so much visual sense to me. It seems to be true. I don't know exactly.
The reality is like even on a much more easy to kind of something that I could get through my stupid skull is that, when you're starting to get into really high level physique sports, bodybuilding and whatnot, people will talk about like, well, how much protein do you eat? I go, it doesn't really matter. It's how much protein are you absorbing?
Yeah.
And so that's why even in the last 10 years, it's really jumped a huge amount where you're starting to see, for the most part, people who are very, very disregarding to their health and being bodybuilders, all they wanted was the look. They could care less. They're starting to get into things like gut health, like to an extreme level. They're like really investing a lot into gut health and fermented foods and unpasteurized dairy, things like that, because they're realizing how much of an advantage it gives them with their physique, because you can eat 300 grams of protein, but if it's all kind of lower quality or if it doesn't sit with you, it's not much of it is going to be assimilated into the system. And like you want to maximize that ability.
Yeah.
Looking good. I look like a new man.
You got that Josh Brolin squareness.
And I got this sweet little flip.
You're getting this little, yeah.
It's like
texturize it a little bit.
It's like early. It's like early Carol Brady. Like remember Mrs. Brady when she had like that like flip moment?
Dude, my kids love the Brady Bunch.
I do too.
Dude, it's on Paramount.
Yeah.
We've been watching that. My kids love that. Gilligan's Island and I Love Lucy. Like, and they loved Alf. Like, why is it that they find all of those shows way more funny?
How old?
6 and 8.
That's why. Because.
But they find it funnier than the stuff that should be for 6 and 8 in today's programming. I find that to be an interesting just observation.
Yeah. My daughter and I literally don't watch anything that came out after. Well, that's not true because we just got into Modern Family.
I haven't watched that.
It's awesome. I never watched it when it was on, but now like it's a really fantastic show. But we a lot of Addams Family, a lot of Brady Bunch, a lot of original Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, a lot, Tubi.
And it's so fun. And it's
great.
My suspicion is, and the only reason I say that is because, like I said, we started watching Modern Family, and my daughter, who doesn't have the experience in life that I have, she says, I really don't like that they don't have the studio laughter.
She likes the studio.
She loves it. She says because there's something that even if it's not as funny or if it's not as good, something about a group of people experiencing comedy or experiencing joy
together
makes me want to be a part of it. And I go like, it's totally true. Like,
yeah. My kids wanted to know where the audience, where were the people laughing? They had to like know where it was coming from. Like they just added that in. They go, so there wasn't a people watching. I go, not on Gilligan's Island.
No, not on Gilligan's Island. No, but I would say if you watch, most sitcoms, there's married a very successful sitcom actress. I got the chance to. It's the sitcom crowd is weird. It's a strange thing, but as much as I used to bemoan it, and then I'd watch something like The Office, and you'd realize, oh, it's not necessary. If it's funny, it's funny. There is something charming from admittedly a childish level, but it's charming to hear a bunch of people laughing. It makes you happier,
I mean, that's why I think comedy is had such a big resurgence, and why it's so popular here, and why people like going to concerts. Like, I think it's a way of finding community in a way that nobody really has that, like, quote, third space anymore. No one has it.
True.
So you can go to a rock concert or a rap artist or whatever, even a sporting event. You're around a community of other people who share that same excitement for that same thing.
One thing I like too about kind of the movement of culture right now is that I feel like, because people all day, every day, whether they like it or not, like you and I watch a half hour of news maybe a day.
Yeah.
When you're 20 or something, and you try to stay up to date with shit, but maybe you'd listen to AM radio, talk radio on the way home from work.
I did. My dad was a huge AM.
Yeah, so that was like, but what's that? 40 minutes? Like maybe now everything political and like current events, we're so inundated with it, and then people yell at each other about it all day.
Yeah.
I don't think people have any space to then go see a comedy stand-up show that's about anything serious or like mopey. So it's pushed the comics, I think, to be a little bit more goofy, and I like that. I like goofy.
Oh, I love goofy. I love it. There's both my boys are learning piano right now, and like once they understood chords, they're just actually like just playing stuff that sounds great.
Right.
I'm like, oh, they got my music gene. Thank goodness, But I was saying that there's like a really funny comedian who plays piano, Victor Borge. And like, who's this guy? I'm like, we're gonna look him up. Like, he does these funny skits with playing piano, and I'm like, that's like the silly shit that like doesn't just happen anymore.
No, but I think, like I said, you're starting to see a resurgence. Because I know, I mean, at least I'll speak for myself, and I'm someone who has a little bit more of a high appreciation for like the art of it, being that I'm so friendly with very, very successful comics. Like I deeply appreciate kind of the craft, but I like. There's something about, I think it is like the 24-hour news cycle and people's division and anger and social media and whatnot. There's something just so, to me, it's very stimulating and very liberating to then go pay money and take the time to go see another grown adult talk about farts and stuff. Like it's very, very therapeutic, I think, right now, to me, to not hear about Palestine. You're not hear about, to like to hear about like.
Do you have a comedian, like one of your favorites, like all time, living or dead?
Living or dead. I mean, Louis for sure. I know the
Louis C.K.?
Yeah.
Oh, he's great.
I'm sure the controversy has tainted some people's view of, but like the fact that Louis could talk so deeply about things like parenting, things like racism, things like that, but do it in a way that I always knew there was going to be like, and then Jesus shit on his face. Okay, where are we going? Like it always kept me. He kept me entertained and very intellectually stimulated. But at the same time, I always knew that there was going to be that complete off the wall slapstick element, and that was very, very likable to me. Shane Gillis is great right now. Like as far as like newer guys, like
he's fun.
Mark Norman's great.
Yeah.
I think like I've always liked Sam Tripoli personally and professionally. I think Sam's a great guy. And again, like I said, I don't really people. I think especially in the late night, and when we were kind of finding ourselves, there was such a movement of like the alt comedy scene, like the the New York kind of like intellectual hip beat guys. And I get that, like I
don't know who that would be.
Like the Janine Garofalo, David Cross, kind of like that.
I didn't get that. Like for me, it was George Carlin.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor. And Dave Attell.
Attell's a murderer.
Dude, Attell, if there was ever to be like the most awarded like sniper of jokes, he's so good.
So good. Like Attell.
I introduced him because he had that show on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
Was it after?
Up All Night or no?
Late night or oh god, I remember. You know what it is. I can't remember the name.
I can't believe like shit from like 2005. You and I are like, what was it called again?
Well, it was also like my introduction to Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah.
When he had that show on VH1, Late Night with Zach. And then I remember one of the episodes, he's interviewing Snoop Dogg in the back of like a lowrider cruising through Compton. And I'm like, this guy's great. Who is this guy? And then I see him in the angle. I'm like, it's the dude who interviewed Snoop Dogg.
There's a thing that I always said about David Tell was.
Hang on, let me
I only met the man once. It's like out of all the like bigger comics, and especially that era, I was so lucky with my job. I usually got to know them. Like I became personally I got to know him. I only met Dave once. He's mostly a New York guy, so it was like he was not in the LA scene. But what I always thought about David Tell was he was like the Pixies of comedy, in that all other musicians like the Pixies. You know what I'm saying? Like, and David, like you may not be into him, but everyone who tells a joke for a living knows David Tell's a murderer. You know? I don't know one comic at all that that wouldn't agree that David Tell's a genius. You know?
Oh, David Tell's a comic.
Yes, that's probably a much more concise way of saying that.
Yeah, I just remember, I think it was like Up All Night or whatever it was called.
Up All Night, I think it was.
Yeah, and I was like, this guy's hysterical. And then I don't remember which one I saw first. I think I saw David Tell first. And then I saw Mike Rowe's Dirty Work, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, it's the daytime version of David Tell. Like, and their personalities reflect like the after midnight crowd and the 9 to 5, or like Mike Rowe. I love Mike Rowe. I would love to talk to Mike Rowe because I think Mike Rowe and his idea of skills and trades, and my dad's electrical contractor, he's electrician, I'm a hairdresser, these are all skilled trades, like it's up my alley. But I was like, Mike Rowe's the perfect guy for talking about like jobs you do as a trade between when the sun's up and when it goes down. And then David Tell is a great representation of the people who probably work when the sun is down. Like everybody who ever worked a night job, they had like a really dark, twisted sense of humor.
Oh yeah.
I don't think there's anything to do at 2 o'clock in the morning.
The same, like talk to cops and paramedics and stuff. Yeah, you would
Or
like
people who are in the armed forces. Their sense of humor.
gallows humor is a real thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's funny you brought up Mike Rowe. Like when I was talking to my agent the other day, and he was asking me about like the direction I'm going with, rebranding and doing the podcast in a different way, and then also wanting to market the Meathead's Guide to Salvation. But on top of that, like I'm very close to releasing a training book, and it's this female-specific training book.
Oh, cool.
And it's called Flex in the City. So by the time this gets released, it might be ready to go.
When are you thinking about releasing that?
Probably like next week. So it's like very, very soon. But I've been working on it hard, and I'm just like putting the effort in, right? Doing the work, so like we were talking about. But we were talking about like where I want to go with that. I said, honestly, you want to know where I want to go with it? I don't have any grand ideas. What I want to do is, there was always like home improvement and blue collar documentary TV since there'd been TV. There's been guys that would throw on a tool belt, or they throw on their blue jeans and they go around and be like, and this is a. Then Mike Rowe came along, and you're like, oh, this guy's fucking cool.
Yeah, Mike Rowe's rad. His voice is amazing.
And then
I have a funeral. I wanted to narrate it.
Yeah. Well, then more after that tab was
There's two specifics of, and my wife knows about. She doesn't know about the Mike Rowe. The other one is that instead of having like Christian hymns and all that, I want Queen's Another One Bites the Dust to play.
Oh, strong. It's a strong call.
It's also my sense of humor.
Yeah, people be feeling bad laughing, but you'd have to laugh.
Right, that's him. All right,
but then, and I was like, and that's what I would like to do, because I see there's like a fitness community, and there's the guys and there's the girls, and I'm like, well, they fucking fuck these people. Like, why isn't there just someone who people would want to hang out with that also would touch? And then I was in the same regard. I said, okay, so you have Mike Rowe, and then there was, since the beginning of television, there had been culinary-based television. There had been culinary programming, and people, they always, it was like someone would come on the local news in a fucking chef's hat or a smock or something, and then there was that, and then they're going to tell you how to make this or that, and everyone, Julia Childs came along, she had her own style, and that was a thing. But I was like, then Bourdain came.
Oh,
And you're like, this guy's fucking sweet. And he also had a deep, passionate, and powerful understanding of food. I was like, okay, that's what I want to do, but with fitness. Because every shithead who comes along is either so jacked and is like trying to talk to you while he's wearing his Zubas and his sleeveless shirt, or it's some like your mom's friend who's gonna tell you to do Zumba, and you're like, shut the fuck up, lady with your fupa. I was like, why isn't it just like, is there anyone cool that I want to listen to? And so I was like, that's what I want to do, and I think I can do it.
So you're gonna do it?
I'm gonna do it.
If you're gonna do a show, are you gonna travel around?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
gyms galore, and
I don't think that's a thing anymore. Like the idea of like doing a TV show. It's like, but I more so is that like if there's going to be a person, like there's fitness personalities, right?
Yeah.
And some of them are great. I'm not saying that they all suck. What I am saying is like there is fitness personality, and you know that like they go on the late night show, like Jack LaLanne. They did, or moving on to Tony Little, to Jillian Michaels, and there's fitness personality person. I was like, why isn't there just someone who's sweet but also happens to talk fitness? I was like, maybe I'm not saying I'm sweet, but I'm like that. I'm not that guy. I'm not like fit gym guy. I just happen.
Like,
it's super. I love it. And I mean, I'll take the Pepsi challenge. I know what I'm fucking talking about. I have deep passionate.
It almost reminds me of like Somebody Feed Phil. Like, he's not a food guy, but he loves food and he knows about it.
Yeah.
Like he's a personal connoisseur.
It's a great analogy. Yeah.
Like what I love about Somebody Feed Phil is that he's not a chef. He's a guy who just is passionate about food and getting to know things. And I was like, and he's curious. Mm-hmm. Curiosity is, just a, I think the people that have Borean was curious. Like all these people talking about, they were curious and they were genuinely interested about whoever they were talking to. They weren't just trying to like get their agenda across.
That is what bothered. That's a very good point, and I agree. And that's what bothered me about doing a lot of the television I did. I feel bad saying it because everyone I worked with was fucking amazing, and they treated me so well. But it was so hard because, like I think we talked about before we got on here, like a lot of people would kill to have certain hosting gigs and television. Like they would line up around the block, and I'd be like, well, I don't really care about. Like I can't. Am I supposed to?
The reason you get those things is because you don't care.
Maybe
the reason I run around with a circle of friends that I do is because I truly, at the end of the day, I probably don't care. It doesn't mean I don't care about my friends. I don't care what's attached to them. I like them as people. And so, I understand, you didn't care about it because you didn't care about it. It came to you again. It's a weird outlook about, what you're drawn towards.
It may be true.
But I had a couple clients who were very, on the woo-woo side. They said, it's because you didn't care that you get it. You're not seeking it. And I thought that was, and I'm like, I don't seek most of these things.
It's just
the story I told you at the airport yesterday.
Yeah,
I wasn't seeking it. It just
I'm genuinely interested in stuff.
Yeah,
and the stuff I'm genuinely interested in, it seems to just kind of always come back
to fitness.
And so that's and I fitness for me too is it was much more than abs and biceps. It was it really became a vital part of my recovery and staying clean. Mm-hmm. By the way, 23 years today.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't. I forgot. I almost forgot. And it was driving over here. I was like, it's October 23rd. Oh yeah.
It's like the opposite of that movie with Lindsay Lohan. It was October 7th, or whatever that date is that they always show from Mean Girls.
Friday? Oh, Mean Girls.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
You've never seen Mean Girls?
Yeah.
Mean Girls kicks ass. You should watch Mean Girls.
I don't know.
Is your muffin buttered? Would you like me to?
I also haven't seen Freaky Friday.
Freaky Your Friday just came out.
Yeah, my buddy was in the first one. I actually think he was in the second one too. He was,
handsome blonde dude?
No. Amir Darak. He was in Orgy. He was Lindsay's guitar coach for the first one.
Oh, okay.
And he's the one who announces hey, for Wengo Tango, the announcer guy.
Yeah.
That's my buddy.
Okay.
And then he was, I believe he has a spot in the second one too.
Now, was Amir the dude who was also in Dead by Sunrise, or was
Correct.
The other dude in Orgy?
No, they both were. So both the guitar players from Orgy were in Dead by Sunrise, and they're in Julian K, which is their own synth pop band. So yeah, I met them when I was like, what? They were like the number 2 or 3 video on TRL.
Yeah.
I was like 16 playing the Roxy, and Ryan knocks on the door. He's like, hey, can we party in this room? We're like, yeah, you're on TRL. Like, I'm not going to say no.
I think we can.
Yeah, we're just playing with the Friends band at the Roxy. I was like, fuck, this is insane.
It's weird when it's weird when you try to bypass that awkwardness of someone being successful or famous. So
it's like you just have to like go like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, you can hang out with. Like, I'm not gonna tell you no.
Or it's like giving Taylor Hawkins a ride in a K-Rock vehicle, and I was, God rest his soul, but it's just like he's like, do you think I can get a ride back to that? And I was like, yeah, I think you can. Pretty sure you just fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
With the Foo Fighters, I'm pretty sure I can give you a ride back to the Marriott in Irvine or wherever the fuck we were going.
That's my roommate in my mid-20s managed a bunch of bands, and one of the bands was this group called Automatic Love Letter.
Yeah.
And so Bamboozle was at the Irvine, like Millionaires were playing, The Bravery, the whole lot, right? And most of the people he was managing all crashed at my apartment. So he had like Automatic Love Letter, some of the dudes from Escape the Fate. It was just like this random thing. Like in the morning, I'm like waking up because I'm actually going to go pick up my cousin who's like a teenager to go see Bamboozle. And like I'm like literally stepping over all these people.
Yeah,
as like,
you won't believe it.
And she's like, I could have just been dropped off at your place, but my mom could have just dropped me off. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna just be wild. Like, I just don't come over.
Speaking of that, because you've had that experience, do you ever know someone before they became who they are and know it?
Know that they're gonna get big?
Were you ever around someone and you were like, there's something about this dude or something, like, and the next thing you know, they become whoever they are?
Yeah, there's been a couple of those times.
Because
there's been a couple of those where, I remember
I knew Skrillex when he was just Sunny. And
I used to do From First to Last Hair.
Okay, so yeah, you should.
So I did the Note to Self video and everything.
But like he was just different. He was like, you're like, God.
But he was always talking about Aphex Twin.
And yes, and like psychedelic bands that I'd never heard of. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and so the funny thing is, his AOL screen name was Skrillex. So I saw him years later. It was 2010. I remember we're at Dre's on Hollywood Boulevard, and Tony and Guy, which is the salon I worked at the time, I had one like fan favorite hairdresser of the year, and I just won my award. We're all celebrating at Dre's, and who's DJing? Steve Aoki. No one knows who the fuck he is.
Yeah,
it's 2010. Yeah. He's just starting to get like that music starting to have like a hold on the LA. And I see Sonny. You can't miss him. You can't miss him.
He's a little guy. So little, yeah.
Somebody's like, was he like? I go like, at the time he was like short and all the black. I'm like, it's like a goth hobbit running around, but he's not. But he feels shorter than he is because everybody I knew, like Jason and them, they're all gigantic. So everyone's like 6'3", and then there's Sonny who's not 6'3", and I was hammered and I punched him really hard, right in the arm, like really hard, and he turned around like ready to be like. And he saw me and he was like, dude. And I was like, oh, good. I'm glad this turned out right. But he's like, yeah, man, I'm going to be on tour with Dead Mouse. I'm like, cool. Like, what are you doing?
What are you gonna do with
like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Are you his key grip?
No, well, I knew he was doing something, but I didn't know what he was doing.
Right.
And he's like, oh, I'm DJing. I go, oh, cool. Are you calling yourself Sonny? Because like that was like the first thing. I mean, he has a name that you would not. It's not a normal name. It's not like John. He's like, no, I'm going as Skrillex. I'm like, you're at AOL and Instant Messenger? He's like, yeah. I'm like,
that's so funny.
I'm like, all right, there you go. Yeah.
I remember being at like Warped Tours and shit, and like that. I was like, there's some like all these dudes were talented, and they were motivated. And I was like, there's something. He's different. He's a different thing.
Yeah. The same thing also about Ronnie Radke.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, like, I can't
see. I didn't get to know him because he's so much younger than me too. I didn't get to know him until he was already a big deal.
So I met him because the label hired me to help them curate their look for Escape the Fate's first photo shoot.
Nice.
When they're in the Neon Bone.
Yeah.
That was on me. Like I had cut all their hair that day we shot it. And so I've known him since then, and that's when I became friends with their manager, who became my roommate at the time. And yeah, you just knew there was something very magnetic about like him.
He's my number one of guy, because like my friend, like my friend network is all like people who are going to compare like the first 3 albums of, for Pantera's first 3 albums versus anything else. They're like, early death metal in Florida, grindcore and stuff like that. So Ronnie Radke's like, fuck that. And I was like, dude, you guys, he is so talented. He kicks so much fucking, like, I'm that guy who like all the like fanzines or websites of the dudes who would make fun of him the most.
Yeah.
Like, I'm out there, I was like, listen, I get it. I understand what because he dresses like he's in the front row at the Laker game, but like, he's really, really like a thought-provoking artist. Really good.
He's super talented. Yeah. And I remember when like he was like rapping, I'm like, I have a video of him rapping from that photo shoot. Like I did when I was like 24. And it's like, that's like almost 20 years ago. And like you just knew that there's certain people who have that. And then, there's people who get close to it all the time. Like they live right on the edge of the like he has a spotlight on him, and then there's people who are right on the outskirts,
Well, the other time that happened to me was, man, I was young, and I was like not only young but like a dipshit. Like I was really like a bonehead, but I grew up with guys that worked for Big Brother magazine.
Oh yeah.
Like a bunch. Like that was my neighborhood. That was like that area in the San Gabriel Valley. And I was not a very good skater, but I mean, I was amidst the culture, in the mid-90s.
Same here.
And so I'd be around these dudes and I'd hang out. And Dave Carney and Tremaine and all, they were around, like the early Jackass guys, like they were there, and they would film skate parts, and it would be a big deal because you never knew who was going to be coming in like that era, like that the Dewan songs, or like the early, like mid 90s, and Mike V and those dudes would be skating, so you want to go be a part of it. And if I get the invite, I get the invite. And I go this one time, I forgot where we were, but we were somewhere like county. So we go to the skate park, and they were filming stuff, and it was like they were starting to get like really artistic with it, right? And there's this dude there. And I don't really know.
Let me get this off you real quick. Hang on.
No problem. I'm there with the people who invite me, but they're my friends who are like tangentially, like they're like errand boys at Big Brother. So they happened to know it was going down, and they gave me an invite. I don't know people. I'm not like in the in crowd. So I'm sitting back watching shit happen. And there's a guy there, and he's like, all the other dudes are wearing super baggy jeans and, etnies and DC. Well, it's mid-90s skate scene. And this guy's wearing he's wearing a fucking tie. I remember he was wearing a tie and like a dress shirt, but like untied. And I was like, who is this guy? But he was clearly like the DP or the director. And he had these ideas, and he was standing, and he was weird. He was just a weird guy, but not weird in like a disturbing way, weird in like, I found him fascinating.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? There's something up with that guy. That guy's got something special about it. It was fucking Spike Jones.
I was going to ask if it was Spike Jones.
And this is, I'm 15, 16 years old. I don't know shit about shit.
But
and by the time, he wasn't a filmer. He was a photographer.
Yeah.
But he happened to be in the skates, like legitimately involved in the skate scene. So he was there. And I was like, man, there's something. And I just remember, I'll never forget that notion of like, I don't know shit about shit. I don't even know who this guy is or what he's doing.
There's
something about that. He's like, there's something going. There's an energy he has.
Yeah. There's. Okay, so you're talking about actors about that. I was thinking about music. I did a shoot helping out a buddy. I did the hair for it, and there was this girl, and there was something just super magnetic about her. Mm-hmm. One, beautiful. Second thing, super sweet, super nice. She's on Chicago Fire.
Oh,
Miranda,
nice.
Her name's Miranda Mayo. Like I met her.
Oh, she's super hot.
Yeah.
She's super flaming hot.
Yeah. And like we still keep in contact on it, but like I just knew that like this girl is there's something like about her. And she would ask me like periodically, hey, can you help me do this for this Maxim event? And like it was always like the worst timing. So it sounded like I was trying to like get out of it. Yeah. I just couldn't do it. But yeah, she's because what happens, everybody likes to make her hair straight. And for the shoot, I said, let's just rock your curls. She's like, oh my God, nobody ever was like, I'm like, finally, somebody wants to wear my hair curly. I'm like, dude, you have these beautiful curls. Like, let's do this shit. And yeah, we just hit it off. And she was just rad. And she's just super sweet and super cool.
I love when that works out in that direction.
Yeah.
And I've hated it when it's worked out in the opposite.
Where
and
they don't get it?
No, where
They turn into a jerk?
I'm like, there's something wrong with this guy. Like, like
I've had some weird...
I don't trust this bitch one bit. And then sure enough, and it turns out they're like, they get some scandal. Jaso introduced me to of all the. I love Ryan Jaso, by the way. I hate that he might hear this, but I love him. He's such a great guy. And
he's great.
But he introduced me to some chick because for a time I did a podcast with Jaso and Shane and those guys, and he brought on some girl. And from the moment I sat down, I was like, "What's with this bitch?" And sure enough, she got like involved in like a serious scandal, or she was like abusing people. Some Asian girl.
Oh,
some Asian chick.
So talk about things where they end up. Do you remember in MySpace that forbidden chick?
Yeah.
She would come over to her house and play pool.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. This girl founded like God's Girls. It was like Suicide's Girls.
I know those things. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was like the girl behind it.
Oh, I don't know.
So I was like going in. I was like, I don't know. Maybe she's like an impresario. And then she starts talking shit, and I was like, wait, what's wrong with it? And then also she was like wildly and like a lot of grammatical errors and shit. I was like, fuck this chick.
Yeah.
I knew right from the start, like, there's something really wrong with this chick.
Yeah. I remember that whole thing happening. I was like, it's just not my vibe. It's like, I'm not into that kind of thing, like the God's Girls or whatever it was. But that Christine Dolce chick.
Yeah.
What is it? Beer pong, right?
Yeah.
They had rafts that we'd bring to the pool that were beer pong floating pool rafts. And we would just play.
Actually pretty sweet, actually.
Dude, it was awesome. We're like Newport Beach playing like beer pong in a pool. And her and her friends would show up because my roommate was like working with her or managing her for like social media stuff. Random shit like that. And she got wildly out of control drunk.
Yeah.
Not like she got wild with drinking. She just became like so sloppy. Like, I remember like her friends were like, we have to like literally carry her out of here because she could have. Then eventually, I think she like died by alcohol poisoning. I found out that she had drank herself to death. But like the writing was on the wall. Like, if she doesn't get this together, she's gonna go that way.
Yeah.
She's not, and it happened. And it was just, I found out about that a few years ago because somebody made a comment. I'm like, wait, I was jogging back memories of like all these people. It's like, that sucks. Also, that same party too was like also our buddy Mike, who ended up becoming on that modeling show with Tyra Banks.
Yeah. America's Next Top Model. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. And I was just like, I was in a hotel room traveling, and I flipped the channel on just to turn on the news, and it's that show, and I'm like, oh man, that guy looks just like Mike. And then I look, and I'm like, holy fuck, that looks exactly like Mike. So I had to hit up Mike, and I'm like, Mike, I'm watching this show that looks just like you. He's like, yeah, that's me. I'm like, I never thought I never thought he would ever go for underwear modeling,
Yeah.
But there he was.
If you
on
have
national TV,
if you
if
you're a dude and you can be an underwear model, might as well be an underwear model.
Yeah, it was just funny, like that whole thing.
Like the idea that someone would pay me to put on my underwear is a fucking insane thing. But yeah, I guess also I think growing up in Southern California nowadays with the internet, it doesn't really matter where you live. You could be talking to a celebrity, but growing up in that environment is so weird when you see that shit take off, I would imagine it's probably huge for you with bands, but I
remember watching Linkin Park play before the record came out.
Yeah, it's just like,
and I was like, these guys are gonna be gigantic. And the same thing happened with Foster the People.
Mark Foster is one of those guys that you were around him, you're like, there's something special about this guy. He's so talented. But you were talking about Shabo. I have my System of a Down story, and Serge is the only one who really loves hearing it. And like, my
wife is a huge System of a Down fan.
Well, and they're great guys.
Yeah.
They're fucking great guys. But I moved back to LA after I graduated high school. I was trying to like make it so I was gonna be the next big rock star. Of course that didn't work out. But the lifestyle took over. And so I'm back in LA. It's 97-ish, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm thinking maybe I can go to college. Maybe I'll try junior college. I don't know. But I have to get a job. My parents are like, you can't just fucking crash out here and be a bum. So I get a bunch of jobs, right? One of them is I'm a night watchman at a rehearsal studio.
Oh, wow. Downtown LA?
No, the Valley. It's like, this is like, let's say like NIZ Burbanky area, like more like Burbank.
Okay.
North Hollywood. And I would be there, and I would, and it was a cool job. And people were cool. There wasn't a lot of like fist fights or shit, bad behavior. But there were these fucking dorks. And the only reason I say that, I'm not talking shit. They were dorks. They were pimple-faced kids. They were like my age, and they wore comic book t-shirts and anime t-shirts and shit. And they were Armenian. And they play all day. They'd fucking play music all day.
Yeah.
And Darren, who ended up being like one of the more introverted guys, he would talk to me. He would hang out and he's like, "We're gonna be fucking huge stars." And
he said it.
Yeah, he's like, "We're gonna be," and I was like, because he was a nice guy, I was like, "I hope so," But internally, I'm like, "Fuck off." Because they were. It wasn't like meeting when I met Josh Homme, like Kaias era Josh Homme. I was like, this guy's a rock star. He's 6'5", and he was, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were like little dorks, and they were my age. And I was like, sure you are, dude. Internally.
Oh yeah.
And like a month later, he's like, "Oh, we're on Ozfest." I was like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, "What's your band name?" They were like, "Oh, we're System." And then sure enough, I moved to the East Coast, and like a year later after that situation, like a year later, Toxicity comes out. And I'm like, these guys did it. They fucking did it, totally. Dude. It's awesome. I love it. I love that I have this experience today, because Serge was always so nice and just like soft spoken. Like Darren's like, "We're gonna be fucking huge rock stars, so you can just plan on that." And I was like, "All right, good for you. You sure put in the work. You guys rehearse all day."
Yeah.
That was my awesome kind of like pre-star experience.
Yeah. Somebody's like, "Oh, that only happens because you lived in California." And I used to write it off. I used to be like, "No, it can happen anywhere." But then I realized, like, where else are they filming and producing movies and making music at that level? New York.
Yeah.
Nashville now. Maybe if there's a show set in Chicago, but like it wasn't like
it was way bigger when we were when we were growing up. I mean, like my wife grew up outside Seattle. Mm-hmm. She wanted to be an actor.
Where did she move?
She moved to LA.
She moved to LA.
And like it's another thing that's really, really weird is that I grew up like 8 miles from Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
I knew nobody in the entertainment industry. Like people have this idea of like LA, like
everyone knows someone.
No, there's like pockets of like Crossroads High and like Malibu where the celebs and their kids and the people who work at studios and stuff.
They all know each other.
I was completely divorced from the entertainment industry, and I grew up in like Pasadena. Like you're just divorced from it. You know what I'm saying? Now I grew up with like a ton of professional baseball players and like a couple NFL players, stuff like that. But
yeah, see, I grew from 10 to like 20. I was in Temecula.
Yeah.
So like, there's nothing out there.
Maybe some moto. Like maybe some pro moto guys.
Which I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
I don't know. But like the only band that was really like that had come out of it was Finch.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I taught Alex, their guitar player, how to play guitar. Like
nice.
There's some video circulating of us in our 8th grade talent show playing "Sweet Dreams," the Marilyn Manson version.
There's a pretty big kind of rap rock, new metal band that came from Temecula area. Fuck.
I don't know, but
I think like half the Head PE guys came from that area.
I love Head PE.
Well, they had their thing. They had their own sound and shit.
What I liked about them is like they were like funkier.
Yeah.
And like
they absolutely were.
They just had their own thing, and I loved it.
That whole cotton, like that's again.
Cottonmouth Kings. All
that's
day,
not my,
every day, each with a rat mate. I just remember.
That's not my shit, but I love it because they had their own thing, man. They had their own thing, you know.
Cottonmouth Kings, I would never put them on, but when we would go wakeboarding,
yeah,
it was so fun to listen to when you're wakeboarding.
It's happy music, man.
Yeah.
Like that was the kind of, I guess, the bummer about growing up in the grunge era, is that like there was so much good music. Like some of those bands were so. You go back and you listen to Alice in Chains and Soundgarden, you're like, God, how good were you guys? But it was like everything was such a bummer and sometimes because I guess I'm 46. I was born in 79. So hair metal and grunge were both my generation. And to have the thing, and then growing up in Pasadena, Van Halen, literally like they're fucking gods, like Van Halen is everything.
To me, guitar goes in 2 steps: Jimi Hendrix,
Yeah.
and then Van Halen.
Yeah.
Everything outside of that has been influenced by those 2 guys.
And they're like the Van Halen brothers, and even Mike Anthony's from Arcadia. So like that whole David Lee Roth's dad was a doctor who Dr. Drew and his dad, Dr. Drew's dad, used to practice with.
What?
So like that's the whole like Pasadena incestual thing.
That's crazy.
But like, and that whole like everybody be happy chicks and rocking like that vibe. I always loved that too. But at the same time, I remember where I was the first time I heard Smells Like Teen Spirit. I remember what happened, and I was like, "What the fuck? I've never seen shit like this." But then the problem was like everything was so sad, everything was so dark, man.
Yeah.
And there's something that and I'm not like a big new metal Limp Bizkit-y guy, but at the same time, there's something awesome about like happy, upbeat music.
It was just party.
Yeah, like party music. There is something to be said for that, I wish you could message. I guess that's where I was another one of the reasons why I was such a big fan of Queens of the Stone Age.
They're coming to town soon.
Yeah.
God, that would be like.
Well, it's because like there was an artistic nature to it. There was always a very valid artistic kind of component. But it's like, let's go, let's have a good time. There didn't need to be such like a.
Well, yeah, not to mention he comes from Kaisis, which is just like.
I remember something about the Red Moon Sun or I forgot the first kind of like not hit because they weren't like a radio band, but like the first time I got exposed to Caius, I was like, what the fuck? Like these guys rip.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny you talked about Spike Jones. I interviewed a guest and I just reached out to him on Instagram because I saw him open up for Jim Brewer.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Joe Siv. And so he was talking about his band. I'm like, I don't remember his band. I don't know who his band is. I don't know who Wax is or whatever, right? And then I was like, he made a comment about Wax, and then off camera he's talking about mall rats. I'm like, okay, I have to look this up.
Yeah.
I fucking remember the video. It's the guy slow motion running that is on fire. That's Spike Jones. I remember that from Beavis and Butthead. And so you were talking about Spike Jones. I was just like, fuck, dude.
That's on the cover of Spike's photography book, I believe, is the guy, the running.
Yeah, and I just remember like being like a really big deal on MTV News about like, do you think this is going to inspire kids to like light themselves on fire? I'm like, hopefully not, but if it does, and I think it may have inspired Rammstein after that. They're like, we just need to light everything on fire.
Well, also like that was my thing with Jackass, where people are like, well, is it gonna inspire people to fill in the blank? And I go like, that's on them.
Yeah.
Like, is it going to inspire people to shoot their friends with paintball? I was like, that's on them. Let them do it. I hope it doesn't, but...
My response to that, because people would say that, I'd be like, I think it's just going to cause them to film everything. I go, they're already doing this shit. Like, I've definitely done a lot of stupid shit in my life.
You see this?
Yeah.
See that hole?
Uh-huh.
Hunter Forsyth shot me in the face with a BB gun.
Who did?
My friend Hunter Forsyth, who I'm still very close friends with, my daughter is friends with his daughters. We had an air gun fight.
Oh, God.
And we thought it was perfectly safe because we were wearing sunglasses.
Oh, God, you forgot that there's more skin?
By the way, I wasn't 20. This happened when I was like probably in 5th grade. And I still have that mark right there. Because, as you pointed out, guys doing stupid shit.
Mm-hmm. All the time.
It didn't start with Jackass. It's just they started filming it.
They capitalize on the stupidity of undeveloped prefrontal cortexes under the age of 25.
Except I will stick up for them. There's a reason why they were so good is because they did it with a certain cleverness and the collection of guys and how they clearly liked each other and loved each other, cared about each other so much. Yeah. There was something very. It's weird. Steve-O's like one of my only like real like big friends. Like he's my friend.
Really?
Steve-O's my friend.
Oh, dude, he seems like he'd be just like a really cool guy.
He seems. Oh yeah, Steve's great, and it's so funny because he's like he is Steve-O, like, and you're sitting there talking to him, yeah, dude, but at the same time he's such a thoughtful.
Most of those wild guys I find are always the sweetest guys.
But on top of sweet, like he's definitely a sweet guy. All those Jackass dudes in my experience have been really nice guys, really sweet, caring guys. But he's like Steve's like a thoughtful, intelligent guy. But you're Steve-O.
I get it, man. I get it. Like I was talking to somebody who was hanging out with Bam when he was out here in San Antonio, and I was like, dude, tell him to come on over. Like, but he's like, yeah, he's just like a really mellow dude.
No, sober Bam is great. Sober Bam is great. He's a really just a really like ambitious, hard charging, smart guy.
Yeah.
Like using Bam is hard to be. It's difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna take this just a little bit.
The most amazing, I have a lot of like, I would never want to talk out of turn, especially there's a reason why Anonymous is at the end of 12-step groups. But when you see it work, I love to expose that because to promote those people and all their amazing work, but also to like for people listening or maybe struggling that there's so many people that I have that are famous that like I saw the difference.
Yeah.
And like no one, I'm trying to think to me, number one, the most amazing transition I ever saw from someone getting clean is Travis Barker.
Oh yeah.
Never a mean guy, never once. In fact, always very amiable, very easy to get along with, but just quiet, shy, like pulling teeth to get the guy to talk.
Yeah.
And then he got clean and he's like firecracker. He's like, hey man, how are you? Oh yeah.
He proves my one of my points about you can have a band that writes decent songs and then you switch out to the drummer and they become killer songs. Yeah. Like Chad Channing, great drummer. Dave Grohl with Nirvana, completely different beast. It was even the same thing with Queens of the Stone Age. That record where Dave Grohl is on, the first thing I heard, I go, whoa, what's this band? They're like, it's Queens of the Stone Age. I'm like, it's not Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you hear that? I go, that's a different drummer. Yeah. And then sure enough, somebody's like, oh no, I think Dave Grohl quietly played on this record. Like he wasn't trying to like make a big deal about it until it came out.
Well, I mean, and I like Billy personally, Corgan. I do. I really like him. And he's one of the more misunderstood because he's one of the few like really famous rock stars that's almost always very honest.
Yeah.
And I think that gets him in a lot of trouble. But I've always liked it. He would come on Loveline. He would just totally be open. Cool. He's really approachable and again, smart guy. But I'm not like a huge Smashing Pumpkins guy.
Yeah.
But I'll listen to anything if fucking what's his name plays drums.
Jimmy Chamberlain.
If Jimmy Chamberlain plays, I'll listen to people read the phone book if Jimmy Chamberlain's going to play the drums.
Jimmy Chamberlain and I were messaging on Instagram because I was like, if you ever come to Austin, he's like, do I get a haircut? I'm like, that's the whole point of the whole podcast. Absolutely. And I'm like, dude, I hope it happens one day because he is one of my all-time drummers. Like he's in the top 10 of, to me, greatest drummers of all time.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys where like, he's playing such good shit. And I think like, if you're not a drummer and not a musician, it goes over your head of like how complex what he's doing.
Well, and also for the same reason, like my favorite guitar players have never been like Satriani or like Buckethead or like, don't get me wrong, I like those guys. I think they're amazing.
Yeah.
But I always liked guys who ripped, but could rip in the like context of a song. Like Steve Stevens.
Billy Idol. Do you ever listen to his flamenco guitar album that he did?
Jakey Lee. Because everyone talks about like Aussie players, everyone goes with Randy Rhoads and Zach. But
I go Zach just because, dude, those pinched harmonics.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I think he like sneezes pinched harmonics. I think that'd be like a really funny video. Like Zach Wild has allergies. He just breathes.
Zach Wild is my number one. Like it's different with people who do it for a living. Like he would come in to Loveline, and we always had these like guitars on the wall, but they were props. You know, like they'd be like record labels would give them to us to put it up at K-Rock to commemorate like a gold record or something, you know?
Yeah.
And he would take one off the wall at commercial break. It'd be completely out of tune and shit. And then he'd just, as he's talking, like having full conversations, not like what'd you say? He's having a full open conversation.
Yeah.
He's tuning and playing it and then just be doing like spot on, fucking like the scales all the way up and down, and just bulletproof. And I was like, oh, well, there's a difference with people who are.
I had that same experience with John 5.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I told on Fire to the kid the story about when I had that experience with John 5. I was at NAMM with John 5.
Oh God!
And there was and I was, because I was friends with people who used to tour with him, not with Manson, when he would do his solo stuff.
Yeah.
And so he was cool. He was like,
nicest guy.
Yeah, he's super cool. But we were walking around at NAMM and people were fucking lining up trying to get autographs. And he's like, he was being cool, but we were trying to, and they had a booth that sold like, they were Japanese like toy anime guitars.
Oh, wow.
And they had one that was like Hello Kitty, Kero Kuropi, and they had like Pokemon ones and shit. But they were like this big, you know? And he's like, check this out. And he picked it up, right? And the guy at the booth was like, here, plug it in, go play, please play. And they were trying to get video. This is before smartphones, so people were like trying to film and shit. And he plugs it in, and I'm telling you, it's like this big. And he puts it in, and he's standing, so he just puts it against his waist. And he starts going, and like, like crazy bends and harmonics with his fingers, not with a whammy bar and everything. It's out of tune. He's playing, just starts tuning it, and he gets it. And I'm like, whoa, holy shit. Like, I really couldn't wait. He was finger tapping and like nailing it. It's like one of those things like, I will bitch and moan about my equipment all day. Like, clearly it doesn't matter what he's playing. He'll fucking wreck.
It's like there's a thing like, my friend is a chef, and like we talk about this with like characters. Like, you can have the sharpest scissors, the sharpest knives in the drawer. If you don't know how to use them,
some people cut like shit. Yeah,
they still cut like shit. Yeah, and he was backstage. It was a Rob Zombie show. We're just talking, and he has walking around with a little amp on there, and he's like doing like all of his like bluegrass chicken picking, and then goes straight into like arpeggiated sweeps and then tapping. And he's like, yeah. So anyways, last Tuesday, I'm like, wait. I have to like concentrate if I'm gonna play Eruption.
Yeah.
I'm like, and he's
fucking conversation.
Yeah, like he could probably have like taken his hands off of it, and the guitar would have still just been tapping on itself.
In the opposite
Let's
direction.
get your nose hairs real quick.
Yes, please.
Because like you keep touching your nose, and I'm like, I'm not cutting you, dude.
Oh no! It has nothing to do with it's
It tickles.
I shattered my face.
Oh,
about a little over a year ago.
Well, I remember that. After you were on, I was like, holy fuck, what happened?
This whole it shattered my face.
Why?
I wish I could say it was something tough. I was sleepwalking, and I woke up with a broken face.
Oh my god!
I shattered it on the table. Well, anyway, since that happened, luckily I recovered again. Since that happened, any pressure. Even you touch like this.
Yeah.
It's so ticklish here.
Oh. Okay. Well,
so I don't know if I did like nerve damage.
He rewired it to be super ticklish. All right. So how do you feel about this?
I think it looks great, man.
I think it looks fun.
You nailed it,
dude. And you have like a fun little thing back here. It's like kind of like lived in, but not like you got it.
Well, and I could get up in the morning and go out and feel confident and not have to wear a hat, which is exactly what I want.
And then I'm just gonna put a little bit of this in. I'm gonna put a little product in, and then you can put towel dry your hair, put product in, then call it a day. Something easy, man. You have like really good, thick, straight hair.
Thank you, sir.
So it's like, instead of trying to move your hair to the right or the left, like just do something fun and short, like messy. I'm telling you.
Like Lionel Messi or like?
Dude, Fight Club Messi.
Oh.
That's like the best messy haircut. My buddy Andrew and I constantly talk about like, there's these iconic men's haircuts, and like Brad Pitt has had a few of them.
Yeah, that's true.
And David Beckham as well. But when it comes to who I think is the haircut that most men could wear, it's Fight Club.
But okay. I'm glad you brought that up as a professional in that field.
As a professional.
As someone who's a professional in another field. Fight Club is the number one male physique goal of all dudes.
Yeah.
And
me too.
I never have I have maybe 2 personal acquaintances where I go like, okay, that's achievable.
Yeah.
Because like even me, I've been Shred City more than I can't hope to be Tyler Durden because I'm 5'9.5".
Yeah.
And I'm blocky. I came out of the womb with like a wide waist and like wide shoulders and stuff like that. Now, Tom Hardy and Warrior, sure. Totally. Maybe I've even been more jacked than that, but I'll never be. And then I have these people, especially sometimes not even buddies of mine, like there'll be people I work with.
Yeah.
And they're like college age dudes with man tits. And they're like, I just want to look like Brad Pitt in Fight Club. I was like, well, it doesn't matter how much drugs you take. It's like, that's not going to happen.
You call them man tits? I call them he hooters. That's what I've always called them, he hooters.
He Hooters is pretty, especially since it's like a little more family friendly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Oh God, that reminds me. You want to hear a really dumb story about me and Lou Ferrigno?
Yes.
Okay. So, growing up in the 90s, late 90s, right? Late 80s, early 90s, that mid 90s thing, anyone who was ripped was from another country.
Okay.
Think about it. Rocky,
Sure.
Dolph Lundgren, right?
Wait a second.
Sorry?
Rocky was from Philadelphia.
No, I'm saying the movie Rocky. Like you had.
You had Ivan
Dolph.
Drago. Okay, Ivan Drago. Yes,
Ivan Drago, right? You had
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? You had all these guys from like Eastern
Arnold.
Europe, Arnold, right? Most famously, right? So it's like 1999 Comic-Con, San Diego. My cousin Wes and I are there. And we see the booth for Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, which is one of the greatest comic books ever. Who else did Invader Zim? So we're there.
Greatest title. That's
Fuck yeah, it's great. If you haven't read it, people, it's great. It's dark. It's fucked up. And all
my experience with comics is like Archie.
Yeah.
Like,
So Johnny the Homicidal Maniac is great. Right next to them is Lou Ferrigno, and he's selling calendars of him in like banana hammocks, like neon green bananas, like ripped, and he's like signing whatever. This is during a brief moment in my adolescence where my cousin Wes and I and another friend of ours, Matt, we were habitually re-signing up for the 7-day pass at 24-hour fitness.
Okay.
Because we were like, I weighed like 135.
And you're like, I'm going to be jacked.
Yeah. I'm like, I got to figure out like, and my cousin looked like an overweight Seth Green.
Okay.
So he's redhead. Imagine Seth Green, but just like heavy. So we go up in all sincerity. We go, hey man, like if we want to like put on some like muscle and weight, like what should we do? Like what should I do at the gym? It's the Hulk. I'm gonna ask the Hulk. He's like, oh, very funny, pencil neck. And my cousin goes, he called you pencil neck. He's like, and then Lou goes, what are you laughing at, fatty?
Oh.
Right? And my cousin and I have a little bit of a sharp tongue when you upset us. So we just start like annihilate him with like insults. Now, what had happened is later on, after we left, the people in the booth were like, oh, he's been a jerk all weekend. And I was like, oh, well, I guess he had it coming. What I told him, by the way, there's a whole story. There's like a 10-year gap in the story. I told him, I said something, and he's like, what? I go, what? Are you fucking deaf or something? Read my fucking lips.
Oh, shit.
Hang on. I didn't know he was hard of hearing. So that movie.
Oh, no, he's not. He's deaf.
I know.
Legally, yeah.
Yeah. So what happened is there's this whole series, that movie, I Love You, Man. And there's a scene where Lou Ferrigno's getting him in a headlock. And I go, man, I swear I was almost that close to getting in a headlock with Lou. So I'm telling my client, and he goes, I can't believe you told that. Like, you're a jerk. And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, don't you know he's legally deaf? That's his whole journey, his whole thing about how he became Mr. Olympia and this, that. And I'm like, wait. He talks funny because he's hard of hearing?
Yeah.
He goes, how do you not know? I go, I thought he was from Eastern Europe because he talked different. Like all the other bodybuilder dudes in my youth. Like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
He's from the Bronx.
Yeah, I didn't know this. And here, I feel so bad. That I told Lou Ferrigno, who's legally deaf, wait, you don't know what I'm saying? Read my fucking lips. One of the worst things I could have ever said, but I had no idea. I just thought he sounded different.
Yeah.
Like Arnold sounded different. Or Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm like, well, I don't know what part of Europe he's from, but that's how he sounds when he speaks English. It was like totally like, and that was my, and after that, I was like, fuck those meatheads. Call me pencil neck.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't give a fuck what. He has no business calling random people pencil neck.
No, but I guess he said that everybody around him said he was like just like cranky the whole time, and I'm like maybe sending like trying to sell like photos of you in like Speedos flexing is probably the wrong crowd for Comic-Con.
Well, also I've gotten, and this is from people in the bodybuilding, not even the fitness, the entertainment world. He's pretty well known to be pretty hard to get along with.
But you really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Anyways, this is my apology. I'm putting it out to the universe. I'm sorry, Lou. Didn't know. I feel like saying something, but I'm not going to say it. It'd be bad.
I wanted to be a porn star. I was going to be Goo Ferrigno. No?
That's funny. That's great. All right. Your book is called Meathead's Guide
To Salvation.
To Salvation.
Yes.
And you're sprawled out there on the cover.
Yes.
They can pick it up. Where?
I'm in Bee Cave, Texas, in that picture.
Oh, right. That's that's right next to Austin. Where
At Mike Catherwood on Instagram. That's always the best place to find me. But there's a link to it. And
it's Mike Catherwood.
At Mike Catherwood. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's links everywhere. My YouTube, everything has the link to a Meathead's Guide to Salvation because it is at my Shopify channel. And I'm sure, look, I think it's Meathead Salvation /shopify.com. I don't know, but it's
there.
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
Mike Cath, you find me, you will find that. And that is it. But there's training manuals to come, training books. And I'm really excited about Flex in the City, the female specific training book. So please, you should check that out.
Yeah, by the time this comes out, it will be out, I believe. So
Flex in the City.
Flex in the City. Do you it's a book, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, cool. Not videos. Not you dressed up as a lady doing Flex in the City stuff. You're not dressed as Carrie.
I did
not gonna get the narration.
I did the AI picture of that. And then
God.
I was this close to being like, it's good, right? My wife's like, you fucking can't.
You can't do that.
What are you thinking?
You're like, I wasn't. I was thinking this was funny.
I thought it was, yeah, because I used my body and my face. So I didn't just put my face on her body.
Oh, that would have that would have been different. Yeah.
I AI'd it. So it was like my arms coming out of her dress.
Oh, God.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
Listen to your wife.
Right.
Most of us should. All right, dude. Thank you.
Thank you.
Later.